Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Well, I guess I don't need that. How's life, y'all? It has been busy. Thank you so much, Muller Blackspear. Yeah, currently blown away at all the Tenet Media stuff. Me friggin' too. Why is that playing not in my headphones? Yes, that is weird. Cute haircut. Thank you. I am... Hello, lady. Yes. Do I need to... I don't want to give you treats and stuff, lady. You need to go lay down. So, for those who don't know, I've been meaning to stream this stuff for like literally all weekend, like since Thursday, but I have been so incredibly busy. And let me just give a brief rundown for everybody. The long and short of it is that I have a chance to hopefully get into a better living situation, and so that means, as Lane has already said in the chat, I have started for my Discord. So if you're in the Discord, I'm not doing it publicly. I do have stuff for sale on eBay, but I have started like massively fire sailing almost everything I own. So if you've ever looked at like a toy I've shown off on here, or any Blu-rays or games or anything like that, hit me up, DM me, and I will set you up with a good deal, because I am trying my damnedest to move out of my current housing situation, and I have a shot at possibly, hopefully, owning a place that I cannot even describe. Like, it is so perfect, and I'm doing everything I can to try and make this happen. So if you would like to help, donations, of course, always accepted and appreciated. If you want to donate, the best way to help right now would actually be through Ko-fi or Ko-fi, or just directly on PayPal. And I think those links are on YouTube. The links, I believe, are on Twitch as well, or in my link tree, because that goes direct to me. Like for example, I am currently raising money, about $1,900, to pay off debt that is left over from my ex-marriage, because that is my first step, is I am trying to immediately pay off some debt, so that it will hopefully expedite the pre-approval process for a loan, because I am really good, like, whatever, it doesn't matter, I have a good credit score, but like debt to income is weird, because I've only been doing this for a little while, and they want to see like 2+ years of consistency, and it's like, okay, well, like the last year I've been very consistent and very stable. 2 years ago, I was poor. You know, I was working less than paycheck to paycheck, because if I hadn't eaten meals at my job at that point, I wouldn't have eaten at all. Like, so that is mostly the fun little thing hitching me up, is the fact that I am. How people really don't talk about how weird and hard, like you know, whatever. I make YouTube videos and stream for a living, but like the flip side of that is how much or how poorly prepared like the US tax system and income system is equipped for like helping somebody who just makes content for a living. Like it's bonkers. It's just a labyrinthine maze of like, okay, am I fucked or am I not? And the answer is usually yes, you are, unless you saved a lot of money. Kippy, where's preferable to DM? Twitter, probably. Limpy, thank you very much for 3 months. Kirakat, is Tim Pool a Russian agent? It's an interesting question. It's here's the thing. Tim Pool being a Russian agent, it's not as simple as you might seem. So I want to start this off. Thank you very much. The Woke Credit Union. Your hit piece didn't work. Booty Bandit. Womp womp. Booty Booty Bandit. That's cute. Booty Bandit. I feel like I haven't heard that one like since high school. That's cute. Didn't you start with agitating in Sweden? No. So I do want to say at the top, if you are only vaguely familiar with Tim Pool, because Tim Pool is not. I'm going to be real with y'all. I've never seen what people find interesting. It's fitting that Tim Pool and Dave Rubin are both at Tenet Media, because I think they are both two of the most boring vacuums of charisma to ever have managed to spin that into a career. Tim Pool is just not interesting. He never has been. He is maybe the most griftery of all the kind of right-wing grifter space, in the fact that I really don't think, like, he might believe what he says, but he has shifted his position so many times that it's become clear he really has only ever been interested in making money and how he can pivot to having a bigger platform, making more money, having his weird little compound, having his weird little skate park. The interesting fun thing is, so I would recommend anybody, if you're curious about Tim Pool, his background or anything like that, Some More News has done a wonderful piece. And honestly, like if you've enjoyed my work on my deep dives I've done on people like Matt Walsh, people like, you know, most recently Synthetic Man, if you enjoy those kind of deep dives into a person's history and how they got that way and why you shouldn't listen to them, go check out Some More News's Tim Pool piece, because it's truly just wonderfully incisive and in-depth. Jackie Sins, holy shit, thank you so much, Jackie Sins. Oh my god, thank you. Holy shit, thank you. And Final Fanboy, thank you for $5. A hopefully helpful literally everything is helpful. Literally everything is helpful. And I cannot stress enough, if you can't afford it, if it is putting extra pressure on you, do not give. Like, I do not want your money. Straight up. If you are in a bad situation, if you are going to be late on rent, any of that, do not give to me. Straight up. The only reason I'm asking is because I have a shot and I am trying to take it. And I don't like asking for charity. I haven't done it since last year, when I was just starting to do this, when I hadn't stabilized yet, because the way YouTube pays out is not on a monthly basis. You basically get paid almost 2 months after. Like, if I put out a banger video at the beginning of a month, I'm not getting paid until the 21st of that following month. Not that month, the month after. So like it takes a minute to get the ball rolling. But I've been completely fine since then. I've been able to save up money, and now I am just, yeah, whatever. It's fine. All of that is to say, sorry. You all know me. Like you've all seen me when I'm working on a project and it's just all that's in my head, so I start talking about it on stream. This is my project right now. It is trying to get out of this fucking apartment and get into an actual home. Move forward with my life. Retro Noric, hey, good night. Oh, hey, DD, good night. Oh, you started with good night. Okay. Have you seen the video response Kuiman made about your synthetic man? Kuiman? I don't know who that is. No? I guess let me look it up real quick. Ugh. Damn, you spent 2.5 hours. That's not what I said. I just looked at the top 2 comments. Good stuff already. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it. I don't like really care. Like I realize that all the little urchins on the underside of synth are gonna try and like make content for their circle, but like I made my video. I'm good. Like I've got as I've been saying this entire stream so far, I'm good. Like I've got other shit to do in my life than talk more about fucking synth. Geoduck Geoscience, thank you for New Zealand $5. In case you didn't know, Tim Pool's dad is a massive leftist and is a pretty great YouTube channel, literally called Tim Pool's Dad. So we did have Tim Pool's dad in here. We had Tim Pool's dad in here like last week. How much can I send you to make sure Emma Thorne's Baffy plush stays with you? I'm keeping the Baffy. That like I'm not literally selling everything I own. I'm selling a lot of it. Like a lot of it. But like I'm keeping my Baffy. I'm keeping a fair amount of stuff. Volcano, how is real estate out there? Here in Colorado, even the most modest places are a nightmare. So that's the thing, is that the place I am looking at, I've already seen it. I've already talked to a real estate agent. I am in the process of getting pre-approved for it. And it is, the real estate market in Spokane is really fucked right now. Which makes this place a particular anomaly because it's been on the market. The problem is that nobody has money to go out and buy property, right? But on the good side, that means a lot of okay to good places have stayed on the market for much longer than they usually would, which in real estate terms usually means that people are willing to cut down, right? So that's part one. That's a good thing for me, is when I'm able to make an offer, it will be at like 10,000, 20,000 off the asking price, right? Like that makes a big difference. But like the big problem right now is the rental market, which is where I'm stranded. Because for those who don't know, I am divorced, and when my wife left, she left the apartment. Ex-wife left. It was kind of like, okay, well, I don't have another co-signer. I can't really move. I was poor at the time, so I really didn't have a choice but to continue working paycheck to paycheck. And it's gotten to a point where you want to know the really fucked up thing? If I get into this place, big if right now, but if I get into it, I will be paying basically the same for a place I can own, a condo that would be mine, that is almost the same size as the apartment I'm in right now. I'll be paying basically the same. Like, rent prices just keep fucking going up. And there's not a whole lot that like renters can do about it because a lot of states don't have good renters' rights. And like, oh, cruise control for cool, renting such a fucking scam. Don't even get me. Oh my god, landlord rights are such a fucking like joke. Like the idea, whatever. It's ridiculous. I am, but yeah, it's more. It's just the opportunity. Like, if it can happen, I am going to do my best to try and that's the other thing is that, like, here's the thing. If I were, again, big if here, if y'all couldn't tell, I am manifesting. The reason I haven't streamed for the last couple days is because I've spent so much time going through my house, like, not literally digging change from under my chairs, but like putting stuff on eBay, selling stuff, just trying to do whatever I can to make this happen. Like, I'm looking into tomorrow. I probably won't be able to do it, just because, but I'm going to look into like giving plasma. Like, that's how fucking serious I am. I have a fear of needles. I'm looking into giving plasma. Like, that's how much this means to me. And yeah, it's just like the idea of being able to actually get some equity, get something that I own under me is, it's I don't know. Irish DC, thank you for 1,000 pities. It all helps. It all helps. Like, because here's the thing, I have a certain, and I don't want to be too transparent with this for like obvious reasons, for personal reasons, but I also don't want this to just come across like I hope that I've earned at least a little bit, enough of good grace from my audience so that it doesn't sound like I'm just like, oh, give me money, because I hate that shit. I hate, like, after everything I've talked about with shitty preachers and shitty politicians and like Trump's money grabs and fucking prosperity gospel preachers and stuff, I would literally, like, I don't know what I would do if I came on here and did the same thing and I went out and spent, you know, your donation, which I'm not, but like spend your donations on like a car or, you know, not, I don't need a car, which is why I gave that example. A car for me would be a luxury at this point. Yeah, it's, sorry, my mind is really scrambled today. Turtle Choom 02, thank you very much for tier 1 subs for 12, holy goddamn, whole year. Thank you very much, Turtle Choom. NFTs when? Oof. Nah. So here's the thing. So I do have two, and I think this has less to do with my channel like blowing up or being noticed or anything than it does has to do with we do have a hype train incoming, so thank you everybody. Somebody just gave a whole bunch of members. Thank you so much. What was I saying? Here's the thing. I forgot what I was even saying. Ask Brianna Wu about her pack, Rebellion pack, receives dark money. She openly lied about it on a Wix stream. I wish I had the VOD. If anybody finds that, send it to me. I would love to ask Brianna Wu anything. Unfortunately, she blocked me. Which, honestly, I don't blame her. The smart thing to do when you call yourself on my side of a political issue, when you try and act like you speak for people like me, when you try and take on some kind of focal point of a movement, and you're that stupid, like that's the only word I can use. I don't need to get more insulting than that for Brianna. No, honestly, Brianna, blocking people like me is the right choice for you, for your mental health. Because I will give you ego death if we talk person to person. Like, I truly loathe her. Like, and I think in a deeper way than even a lot of the caustic, horrible people we've talked about. Like, I think Brianna is so harmful. And people like, here's the thing. People like Nick Fuentes, people like Steven Crowder, Dave Rubin, the dorks we're looking at right here, Dave Rubin and Tim Pool and stuff. They know they're part of a specific movement. They know the damage they're doing. They know the enemies that they're trying to go after, right? Like they put a specific target on the left. Dumbass centrists like Brianna, who come from wealth and power and privilege, who have no idea what it's like to not have a stable support system for her entire life, who don't know what it's like to not fail upward. Like people like Brianna Wu have never had the taste of dirt in their mouth. They've never been kicked when they were down. They've never eaten meal to fucking meal and had to skip meals. And in a very real way, that warps their fucking worldview and how they see others. Because they go through life thinking that like, oh, okay, life, like all people are inherently good and all people want to do inherently good things. Which is what I think she believes. And she is naive enough to look at the world around us and the way people like me and her fit into it currently in the political climate. And she is naive enough to look at that and go, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with Lauren Southern. We're going to drive Porsches around. I'm going to show her my Porsche collection. I loathe her. Yeah, but she needs another Porsche. Like the... Bucket Boy, holy shit, thank you. God, thank you guys so much. Like from the bottom of my heart, holy shit, thank you. 450 Prime, thank you for super chatting. 499. Did you send anything with that? I didn't see anything. Demos Kilos. Demos Kilos. Thank you for subscribing at tier 1. Lur, thank you for becoming a member. And Bucket Boy, thank you so much for the 150. Like really, y'all don't know what it means to me right now. Like the idea of maybe before the end of the year I could be streaming from a place where I can actually like afford to make a studio background where I could actually fucking like, it's not just random toys and shit I've accrued over the years that I have to make look vaguely presentable. Like I'm trying y'all. Yeah. So, yeah, Brianna comes from money. Suicide with someone else because she barely had enough for rent, but didn't, and she's okay at the moment. Good. The guy, thank you very much for $5. It's not much, but I like your stuff and it deserves support. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Your background is beautiful as is. Well, thank you. Don't get me wrong. I'll still have toys in the background in a new place. But I really, God, it's little things. Like, so the place I want, and I can't stop talking about it, obviously, is like this. It's like an open concept, and I think honestly, it's a little bit smaller than my current place. I'm okay with that though, because it's open. And like just the idea of being able to like, all right, so do you guys remember the Satanic Temple deep dive video? When I talked about the Satanic Temple, I used a whole green screen for everything there. The green screen, I tried to keep the green screen out here for like a couple streams because I kind of like the way it looks. Like I kind of like being able to adjust it, put myself over the thing, and it's just me, it's not the background. And I couldn't keep it out here because this is me touching. I'm touching that, right? Like that's the room I have. The green screen is like that thick because it hangs over. So it's a tiny little sheet, but then you have to have a thing behind it. And then it has a big old tripod. I could not fucking put it behind me without just constantly either bumping into it or knocking the whole thing over because it's a flimsy little tripod. And it's like the idea of just walking into a room and being like imagining where everything and visualizing where everything can go and be like, I can keep a green screen here. And I don't have to fucking knock it over every time I get up. Adrienne Vixen, thank you very much for rating with a party of 54. Tenet Media is a very stupid name. Here's the funny thing. When I looked up Watch Tenet Media, which is the name of their fucking website, to tell you how great of an operation this was, the only thing that came up was like Christopher Nolan Tenet streaming. Janine Basil, thank you very much for 30 New Zealand. Nothing much to say other than it took me 50 years to buy. I'd like someone else to be able to do it earlier. Me too. So here's my grand, like, because here it's this scary thing, right? Because I am selling so much stuff. Like I am trimming down my entire life to be able to fit into this house essentially. And if that falls through, on one hand, I'm going to be devastated right now. And that's just because that's the headspace I'm in. On the other hand, the work I'm doing right now is not paying into the house, that is paying off my debt. Like that is paying off the little bit I have left from my ex-wife, from, marriage, the little bit I have left of like COVID expenses and expenses for when I was poor. And these are things that I've been paying on like a little bit all year. Like I've been doing minimum payments and doing bigger chunks when I needed to. But the fact that it's actually now like still that little bit left, that final sprint is now in the way, is a bummer. And then I have the cat, my cat. I love my cat. She has been scaring the shit out of me lately because she is getting older and she is not moving as, and here's the thing, she's not that old. Like she's 9. And I just noticed one of her canine teeth is missing. So tomorrow morning I get to go in and deal with that. And I don't know what a vet bill will be. So, I mean, y'all fucking know what it is. Y'all know I am sure I'm not the only one, and I don't even have a car. Like, good God, if I had a car, I know something would be going fucking wrong. Because that's the way it always happens. Like, you can never just have, like, oh, I need to buy a new refrigerator. It's, I need to buy a new refrigerator, and my son broke his leg, or, something. I don't know. Kaiju Chomps, thank you very much for 10 euros. Sorry, I can't. No, here's the thing. If you can't contribute much, keep it. Like, that is why I am selling stuff. I want to let everybody know that, like, hey, if y'all want to give donations, now's the time. Because I can use it right now. But, like, I will be fine. Like, ultimately, I will be fine. I do not want any of you... If that $10 was going to go towards dinner, I would rather you have dinner. You feel me? I need to hold on to whatever I can to deal with immigration fees. Yeah, no, you keep that, Kaiju Chomps. Like, I appreciate it, but no. Your local nerd, thank you for 5. I'll have to rewatch the stream later because I have D&D in a bit, but good luck getting the house. Thank you, I appreciate it. Just Playing Garrick, thank you for $5. Owning your own home is such a game changer. I wish I had the means to give everyone a home. In that vein, here's some money. I appreciate it. It really is. Yeah, I don't know. Bruce Maxson, thank you for $4.99. One of the most perverse things is the right using homeless vets as a chip, but turning around and calling everyone at the bottom lazy. Yeah, I've never met a lazy. Well, I mean, like, there's a lot of poor people. I live downtown, so I see a lot of poor people. I unfortunately, especially in the summertime, see a lot of drug addicts and a lot of people having like breakdowns on the street, and it's gotten worse. It's gotten like noticeably worse, and it is fucking heartbreaking because what can any one person do? But like at the same time, I'm sure at one point in their life, well, I know at one point in their life, like their life wasn't like that. And I know people who have turned to drugs. And the next time I see them, they're strung out on something. I've had people at my workplace, past workplaces, that like the next time I see them, I'm like, oh fuck, they've either fallen off the wagon or they've gotten back into that shit. And like that's to say, I've never met a lazy poor person. Like I'm still not well off. Like I'm still pretty down there. But I'm trying to not be, and it's really fucking hard, even for somebody who is constantly working like me. And I'm working a job that pays pretty good too. I mean, like, relatively. This YouTube is not, I wouldn't recommend it as stable income, but it does pay better than minimum wage for me. Dog, what are you doing? Why are you knocking things over? Why are you knocking things over? She's being such a little attention whore. Venrir, thank you for $5. Wish I could send. No job. If you don't have a job, do not send money. Straight up. I just want to thank you for unintentionally helping inspire me to start HRT in July. I owe you and so many others. Thank you. I hope that goes well for you. I appreciate it. Minxie, thank you 666 for 13. Yeah. Window, thank you for becoming a member. Homelander, how are you today? I am good. We are getting into, so we need to actually, I need to stop talking shit about myself. Internet Archive and the updates on the court case. Hey lady. Dog, what is your deal? Why are you... What? No, stop it. Vanish. I love you. No. I just hate... like, the Internet Archive is such a net good for everything. I cannot imagine being such a miserable fuck that you want to take it down. The guy next to Tim Pool... Oh, hold on. I just saw Call of Duty. In that splash art used to be a Call of Duty YouTuber before he transitioned into politics. This dude? Or this? No, this is Dave Rubin. This guy. Actually was the thing that got me into politics. I'm living in the most surreal timeline where this guy who nobody but me has heard of this dude. Apparently, yeah, I don't know who that dude is. So from left to right, let's go down the rogues gallery here. We got Benny Johnson, who we looked at Benny one time because I really do not think he's very interesting. I don't like listening to him at all. I think he's very boring. I think he is very try-hard energy, like in a way that is just grating to me personally. Like he's constantly trying to hello fellow kids his way, but like into the good graces of his contemporaries, of people around him. He feels like an afterthought in the conservative content space. Lauren Southern, who Nitric Oxide, Lauren Southern is still doing stuff. You are as surprised as I am, because we covered Lauren Southern's awful trad wife nightmare moment where she married an abusive, awful piece of shit because she wanted to live out the trad life, and turns out that's not a great thing to aspire to. Living like a 1950s housewife comes with some issues when you have a man who just like assumes you're going to do everything all the time and take care of everything all the time, and he doesn't have to have any responsibilities. I did not know she was doing content of any kind, so I'm going to say that I feel speaks to the impact it's had. Of course, we've got Dave Rubin. Everybody loves to clown on Dave. One of them in the conservative media space. I can't help but notice lineup here looking awfully white. Turtlebird Me, thank you so much. Holy crap. Thank you for one. Oh, that's a bunch. Oh my god. Gifted 20 dead domain memberships. Thank you so much, Turtlebird Me. Holy shit. I just see fancy ass Biofoot. If you look up Skag3 on YouTube and click on the channel Matt Christensen that uploaded Call of Duty videos, you see that the most recent upload talks about him going to Tenet Media. Matt Christensen, different. Oh, not Matt Chrisman. All right. Amanda J, thank you for $19.99. And Lady Addis, thank you for $50. Literally everything helps, you guys. I can't even begin to... I don't want to, like, cry on the stream or anything, but I can't begin to tell you how helpful it all is. Melody Leinart, I am very fortunate to be in a position of privilege and can afford to give it to people in need. Lots of love your way. Your content is phenomenal. It's helped me cope with the wild reality we live in. Thank you. All of that means so much to me. It was weird. I was thinking the other day, What was I going through? Somebody sent me the Fundy Snark Reddit post reacting to, it was one of those. Like there was a Fundy community Reddit post reacting to the interview I did with Jonathan Anderson, talking about the abuse that he suffered at hands of his father and mother. And it was this weird moment where somebody was talking about, like, they were talking about, oh my gosh, I love Dead Domain. And then they were like, somebody else was talking about, oh yeah, I really like the community too. And it was this moment for me where I was like, what community? My community? There's a community? Which, like, I know there's a community because I have a Discord. Like, there's a couple hundred people in there. Like, duh, I know there's a community, but it's this thing that has just happened, kind of. Like, I've never set out to, rule the world or anything, or like have, like, I feel this is evidenced by how long it's taken me to actually get some kind of let me cut that off. Get some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like just a living, like I found something I was good at. I'm doing these deep dives, these well-researched concepts that people are apparently interested in, doing streams that people apparently enjoy watching and rewatching. And it was never something that and I guess, hell, I never really talked about this for like a 100,000 sub retrospective because I just got too busy. Like, I meant to do like hey, I just got 100,000 subscribers in like a year, which doesn't fucking happen usually. And I if you want to know why I never did a stream to celebrate that, like, it's been like a couple weeks now, I got too busy because I was just focused on, like, I literally, I was looking forward to it, 100,000, it happened, boom, back to work. And it's been so surreal and odd to have people engage with and care about my work constantly. And to the point that people even, and I have, go sign up, go join the Patreon and all that stuff. To the point that people, give their own hard-earned money to me for what I do, which is not always good. Like, sometimes I make just goofy ass videos about, shitty self-made horror movies on YouTube that nobody's ever heard of or seen. And y'all are still here for that. And y'all are still here for me. And I appreciate that so much. And yeah, it really does mean the world to me, and I've never taken a moment of it for granted. That I have people who want to watch my content, who come to me for news or for opinions on things, because it's not something that a lot of people have. And I couldn't fucking tell you why I have it. I don't know. I just talk into a camera sometimes. But I just know that I am grateful to everybody. Special Blanket, thank you for $4.99. I run a leftist and queer... backwards that. I run a leftist, queer, and trans autistic affordable housing warehouse in Oakland. Fucking awesome. Is there a way to get my info out there since topic is housing crisis? Yeah, DM me on Twitter. Meat toilet, show feet. No. Like, you gotta go, hey, Meat toilet, I'm having an OnlyFans sale. There you go. You're an influencer. Yeah, your personality is a big part of why we're here in the first place. See, that's scary for me. Being called an influencer, like, I still don't know how to react, because I've actually been in a lot of social situations recently, and I'm not, like, bad in social situations. I just, like, again, for the last year, I've been basically, with the exception of seeing partners, basically just working straight. And so recently I've been playing like more local Magic. I've kind of found a game group that I really like. I've made a couple friends. And inevitably topics come up like, hey, what do you do for work? You know, just like conversational shit. And how do you tell someone that, like, and especially it depends on the age of the person I'm talking to, because everybody has a different point of reference. But how do you tell someone that's like, oh, I make YouTube videos and stream? Because it's always funny, because there's two reactions, right? There's like there's initial and a secondary, where the first reaction is always like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I can tell that they think I'm like unemployed. Like they think I like live with my parents, or I don't make that much money, or like my life is, you know, like a SoundCloud DJ or something. Like it's like, yeah, oh no, I totally do this thing, but like, and you know, we're still trying to, like, it's still just taking off, and like I'm finding my niche. It's like I have to be like, no, I just hit like 100K subs, and they're like, oh shit. Homelander, Dead Domain, I've been subbed for a year. I have a great amount of respect for you for how you infiltrated fascist CPAC and the hate shirts. Thank you. You intentionally put yourself in danger for the greater good and got a large amount of info for what the fascists are planning. I try. Amirian, what is your dream job? It's kind of this. Like, not... Like I don't want to make just YouTube videos forever. I have higher aspirations than that, but like making things is what I've wanted to do. It is what I have suffered through everything for. Long, lonely, painful nights of working until 2 or 3 a.m. dead-end fucking jobs that don't pay nearly as much as they should and take way too much tips. Like, I've been in those fucking pits just waiting to do something, which I think is part of why I've worked so hard to, I guess, like, seize the moment, so to speak. Is like I had one video kick off, the Matt Walsh video, and so I started streaming, or the hate church videos, and so I started streaming, and then I did the Matt Walsh video, and then I did the PragerU video, and I tried to pad stuff in between just to keep it going, keep it flowing. Yeah, Lane, that's also true. I can't just drop like, I have 100,000 subscribers, and like do a hair flip. $5 from Written Remedy. The shitty self-made horror movies that I haven't seen before are my favorite. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I am the thing, and I've talked about it before, and guess what? I haven't had time to work on it like usual. When I say I'm going to work on something and I plan to work it out, I haven't had time to work on the novel or the script that I'm working on and off, but not as much as I'd like. Have I ever done watch-alongs for movies? No, but again, another thing that I had planned to do in the Discord that just never fucking materialized. Yeah. Everything will have a time at some point. Oh, I love claymation horror movies. If you want a really good, kind of weird, obscure, it's not really claymation, it's stop motion, but there's a Russian retelling of Alice in Wonderland from the 80s that is so good. Kristen Thompson, I just want to say hello and thank you for your hard and honest work. Currently cannot sit still enough because of other stuff to be in chat. Just wanted to send love. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. All right. Enough about me. Nebula sponsorship went. Go bother Nebula. Go bother Dave about it on Twitter. Bi-monthly, remembering that Clay Fighters existed. Hell yeah. Alice, yep, there, 1988. It's really just an incredible work of craft. Like I love Alice. Okay. So Tenet Media, let's get back to this real quick. Dave Rubin, everybody knows him, everybody hates him. Jesus Christ, Jackie Sins, thank you so much. Holy fuck. $200. Oh my god. Congratulations on that. Surprisingly, royalties from the sales for my book on Amazon in combination with my part-time job is earning me quite a bit of moolah. Holy fuck. Thank you so much. Holy shit. Thank you, Special Blanket. Yeah, go let Nebula know. Go let other content creators on Nebula know. Like I don't like bug them about it, but like if they're doing a poll or like I don't know how they determine that stuff. But like again, here's the thing. I've been around for like a year, essentially. Like I've been making videos for like 3 years, but I was making maybe a video a month because I was working full time and had other shit to do. And like in the current incarnation, the way people know me, I've been here for a year, basically. Like I started last year, or I guess year before this last year. I started with under 1,000 subs and ballooned from there. The Final Fanboy, thank you very much for $20. I've been wondering, how do you make yourself sound so natural when you do the pre-recorded stuff? I've been thinking about making vids where I read my writing like an audiobook, but I'm not a natural public speaker. That is a very good question. I don't know how to answer. Like I realize it sounds very like pompous to maybe say, but I've never had an issue speaking like you know, when I started comedy and stuff, I was nervous. And the first time you go up on stage, you're always nervous and you'll trip over yourself a little bit. But once you kind of get past that, I've never really had an issue speaking in public. So I wish I could give you like the way, and you know, people in the chat who have met me in real life can attest to this. Like the way I talk here, this is kind of just how I am in general. Like, yeah, like Elena Connor, that's another thing. One thing, okay, here's one thing I will say is that you will get a better feel for how you sound and how you want to sound through editing. Like actually sitting down, even if it's painful, believe me, it will be at first. Sitting down and putting together like, okay, here's where I'm breathing too much. Here's where I need to lean away from the mic. Here's where I'm really popping my S's and stuff like that that'll pick up, get a really good mic filter too. And so it's those kind of things that will really, I think, help you formulate the sound you want to hit. And then also editing is great because, hey, say you sometimes only say a couple words and then you take a couple seconds to finish what you were saying because you were trying to think about it. But then sometimes you can take a couple seconds and think of what you were saying because you were trying to think about it, and you can cut out all those little spaces in between, right? And that's kind of the beauty of editing is playing around with those things. And so that's what I would really recommend, is that editing has been a big part of what helped me realize how to sound more natural. Yeah. I've been practicing by narrating when I play Ace Attorney. I'm developing an Ace Attorney, an OK Phoenix Wright voice. That sounds adorable. I have rando advice for speaking. Worrying about how we sound can harm your sound. Yes. Speaking expressively and making sure you emote what you're saying can make expression deeper. So that is actually really true. So what, if you ever look at voice actors, and I used to do this when I still do this actually. When I'm recording like lines and stuff, I'll still like gesticulate with my hands just because it feels more natural. If you're just talking like you would regularly talk, if you're reacting to something like you would regularly react. And if you ever watch like footage of voice actors, they do the same thing. If you ever watch footage of what's it called when they do the sound, they re-record a soundtrack for film. Y'all know, you know what I'm talking about, but Like when they need ADR. Yes, thank you, God. Like when people ADR stuff, like that's what that is. Like, here's the thing. When you go through, all right, if you ever watch really shitty movies, right? And they have that sound quality where it's like you know they have a mic, but it's picking up everything in the room and it just sounds like tinny and weird. It's because they didn't ADR it. When they ADR stuff, they will cut all that shit out. And in a lot of cases, they'll cut out a lot of the dialogue. If there was, there was a fan or there was a car going by or like something fucked up, and they'll just have the actor reread it, and they can match that to their voice, match that to the dubbing. Yes. And that's like, again, just valuable skills to have. I forgot what I was trying to even get at with that. I just started talking. Thank you so much. Holy shit. Chill Dog fan, thank you for 20. Your content's great. You helped me as a kind of closeted queer guy get my actual beliefs about stuff in order. Don't feel bad because you're seeing success. You worked for it. Thank you. I have a really, really hard time. Holy fuck. SE Turt, thank you so much for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 subs. Thank you. Holy shit. Good God, you guys. Thank you. I think the hard part for me is feeling bad because you're seeing success, you worked for it, is that like, oh yeah, my point was about gesticulating during line reads. We love our tangents. We love our tangents, don't we, folks? Is that I do feel, I don't want to say I feel bad for success because like, oh no, poor me. But I have a hard time kind of savoring it, because it's like, there's this scene I think of a lot in JCVG, Jean-Claude Van Damme, phenomenal film if you've never seen it. And there's a moment where it breaks the fourth wall. He's sitting there in a hostage situation, this former great big actor. And he goes up and he basically talks, because it's this moment where the actor is playing himself in real life. He's playing a fictionalized version of himself, right? And he talks to the camera, and he's really talking to the audience about his life and thinking about the possibility of dying and how he's lived his life and what he could do differently. And there's this moment where he says, I see other people, and it's something to this effect. And I wonder what's so special about me, is I see other people have qualities too. And I think about that a lot in terms of like, okay, well, why do I deserve anything? Why do I deserve any of that shit? I don't, really, if you get down to it. And especially when there are so many other people who do need more. And that's why this has been this weird, I don't like begging. I really don't. Yeah, anyway. Ernemirder, thank you very much. Dead domain imposter syndrome is more likely than you might think. Wait, whoa, okay, hang on. You said something about Harry Potter. Do you still enjoy Harry Potter even if J.K. Rowling is a bigot? Not really. Here's the thing. I will watch the first 2 movies. That's it. Because as I've grown up, I've realized that those 2 are basically the only things I actually care about. Like, I watched all the movies all through high school. I've rewatched them kind of before J.K. Rowling was a terrible person. And every time I got to a point where I was just like, oh, okay, well, now the first 2 are done, so now I gotta watch the rest of them. And as I've watched them more, and as I've come to see more breakdowns of the actual media and the storytelling, as I've imbibed more actual good quality storytelling in cinema, and not just cinema, but books and, you know, everything else. I don't I just don't really fuck with it. Like at a very basic level, I don't care for everything 3 onward. Like that first movie, I think that first movie and the way it was caught on film and like there's a warmth to it. The first Harry Potter movie is the most I think that franchise has ever actually embodied a feeling of magic and childlike whimsy, which is what that franchise always should have been. And I don't really care for when it tried to get more like dark and serious and they like the Jesus allegories and like all that shit. Miss me. Don't care. And then of course there's a shit ton of other layers to that, like the goblin stuff, the slavery shit, like the racial naming, like there's a lot of reasons. And also I kind of don't have to deal with that stuff in just the first movie. Like it's all good. Tea with Goblins, thank you for 95 bits, but you're not begging. You provide a service that many of us find genuinely valuable. You work hard and deserve to be remunerated for it. Thank you. Remunerated, good fucking word. Leo Fee K, I call them K now. Kaylin Conrad did a really good video about other magical school stories. Yeah, fantastic video. If you haven't seen the one, I forget what they named it, but the one talking about did J.K. Rowling basically steal Harry Potter? Because, like, it's not 100% conclusive, but they make a very good argument for it. Yeah. Oh, damn. Alfonso Cuarón? Really? I know Christopher Columbus did the first one. Anyway. Okay. Sorry. You guys keep getting me off on tangents. Christopher Columbus. Chris Columbus, the film director, not the Spanish explorer. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some water, and then we'll get into the Tenet shit with Dave Rubin and everybody taking Russian propaganda money. Will I be doing a debate stream on Tuesday? Yes. God damn, this week is going to be packed, isn't it? Oh my god. Because we've got... So I have a video... I have 2 videos in pipe. I have 2 more that I haven't even started working on that are basically just concepts right now. And then I've got 2 videos coming this next week, separate than the other ones I just talked about Matt Walsh's new movie and God's Not Dead 5, and then there's a debate on Tuesday. It's okay. We got this. Did you say Russia is the global hub of the far right? No. Because I don't necessarily think there is a global hub for it. Like, right-wing authoritarian movements and just right-wing movements in general are very decentralized right now. The worrying thing is the fact that they are forming a trend across so many countries that have, like, next to no current ties, right? Like, Israel and Russia are not what you technically think of when you're like, oh, yeah, natural allies, Israel and Russia, right? Or, you know, Russia and Argentina or something. But yeah. Thank you. I'll be right back one more time. Okay. Antifa Fox, thank you for $5. I haven't seen the new Beetlejuice yet. Or if you haven't seen the new Beetlejuice yet, I highly recommend it. I might check it out. I have not given a fuck about Tim Burton for a while, but also that first Beetlejuice is all right. That's a pretty good movie. Ian the Bean, of course there's more than one God's Not Dead. Aaron, Lady Addis, as far outside of those two situations, the far right basically is like dead as heck. No, it is still like Viktor Orban is still president, still runs Hungary, or Turkey. I'm just saying shit now. Prime Minister of Hungary. See, I had it right the first time. Why did I doubt myself? Like Viktor Orban, and then fucking far right just won a victory in France under Macron. They are constantly winning shit all across Northern Europe. Like, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Do I have a favorite content to make? It depends. I wish my I would love to just make like video essays breaking down like themes and shit, but those don't do hardly any views. The Stellar Blade one I did actually took off a little bit, so I'm hoping if I get one out and people still like give a fuck about the game, I would like to do one on Dustborn and performative wokeness and how it just like, man, that game is. Aaron Nichols, thank you for $50. As an Aussie, I always got plenty of cash for booze since I'll never buy a home in my lifetime. Watch Why Living in Australia is Impossible. Buy 2 and 20 for context. So use this as a down payment for your new place. Thank you very much. Thank you. If the world wasn't in chaos and conflict, what would you want to make a video about? I want to make. I have like 3 videos that I'm constantly in my mind. I'm like, oh God, one day I'll make this. I have a like 7-hour video in me on the death of the Western genre correlating to the death of like American idealism as a like focus in society. And I would like to tell that focusing mostly on Red Dead Redemption 2 and the TV show Justified. As contemporary examples of the Western genre. The second video, and I've talked about this before, but talking about how creators interact with their own work and internalize criticism of that work and have been impacted by their own work through the lens of David Lynch in Twin Peaks and then revisiting with Twin Peaks The Return. And then Remedy with Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2, and Swery with Deadly Premonition and Deadly Premonition 2. And like, I want to make like 6-hour video essays of those topics. Haven't seen any Duskmorn. God, Kiwi TP, you're trying to get me off on a tangent. I know it. I can tell. Oh, well, okay, so here's the thing. Final Fanboy, Quantic Dream didn't make, from what I understand, they did not make Dustborn. They are, oh, I love Red Dead Redemption 2. I think it's a fucking phenomenal game. Nick DeGriff, just answering that real quick. Quantic Dream didn't make Dustborn. They, I believe, helped to like sponsor and fund it. But it's not like a David Cage joint. But man, it's, yeah, No Country for Old Men's a Western, for sure. Like it's a modern Western, but it's still a Western. It is like, I need to play more Dustborn just so I can get footage, but like, man, I don't. Yikes, dude. That game is fucking... Like, as a soy boy cuck beta non-binary leftist, I don't know, man. On the subject of Western, have you seen The Proposition? No. Oh, no, but I have heard about it. Yes. You said Australian Gothic Western. I was like, I did hear about that. Do I have an interest in manga? Yes. I have a small manga collection, actually. I don't like... So here's the thing. I don't like serialized manga because I'm never going to keep up with it. I'm just not. Like, if there are 1,000 volumes of something, no. I like really short series. One of my favorite ones recently was called Last Gender, and it's a phenomenal little queer anthology about this queer bar in Tokyo. And it's just really wonderful and interesting and touching. Monster, I have a couple of volumes of Monster. I have a bunch of Junji Ito stuff. Yeah, I like that. I like that manga stuff. Ryson, hey, I'm wondering if David Cage is working on Eclipse or if someone else is taking their reins. God, I hope someone else is taking those reins. Oh yeah, David Cage. Like, look, I'm never gonna fucking. You will never hear me defend anything David Cage has made. Like, if you ever doubt David Cage is like a deeply troubled person, I want you. So they had a game, the one that often gets overlooked in between Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, which are both goofy ass games for their own reasons. But the one that is overlooked is Beyond Two Souls. And if you go and play Beyond Two Souls, play the PS5 version. Is it PS4 version? PS4 version. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Play the most recent updated version they made, because they added a version. The original game was told out of sequential order. Like, it flashed backwards and forwards, right? If you update the game, or if you play the updated version, there's an alternate mode that puts the entire story in its original order so that it's easier to follow, which was apparently a complaint. When you do that, you see, like, just laid bare for you how much he kind of hates women. Like, he's just one of those creators that just seems to relish in torturing a female character and calling that like character development. And it, like, that shit pisses me off. Because it's not good. It's just, when you play through it sequentially, the character Ellie? No, Miranda? Whatever. Who gives a fuck? I'm thinking of Last of Us girl. But when you play through it sequentially, it's just a story of a girl who is constantly like bullied for literally no reason. Like, for no reason. And it's just ridiculous. Well, I didn't say anything about Detroit. I'm talking about Beyond. Jody, that I knew it was an E. I knew it was an E. I have, in fairness, I have not played Detroit. Yeah, Nick DeGriff, that was a huge part of the problem of Beyond, as it felt like walking through a variety of different movie passing. Okay, guys, we need to focus, all right? Focus. Y'all are getting... The Tomb Raider reboot was so weird about Lara Croft with how much they animated the death animations and how gruesome it was. Yeah. I feel like that came out long enough ago that we're able to look at it and be like, okay, it was a different time, like 2013. Because it was, like, that game started development in what had to have started in 2010, 2011. So, like, Ryson, I'm hoping Eclipse is made by all the people who made Detroit minus Cage. I just kind of want to see more of it. actually. Okay, we're going. So Tenet Media recently, let me pull up some other stuff, because I've been saving about a dozen different sources, more than a dozen at this point. Now I gotta see what these all are. Oh, how did that get there? Oh, jeez. Whoops. Here we go. So yeah, we're gonna watch a little bit of Tim's floundering, let's call it. Ayo? Wait, go back, I missed it. No. Hey, Misfit Satanas. Fearless voices until you mention Sam Cedar. So first off, let's go over Tenet Media, who they are. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna watch the video, because they, like, from the tagline, "Fearless voices live here," they are playing up the maverick image of the modern right media sphere of, like, you know, we go against the grain by literally it being a propaganda outlet paid by people. We go against the social norm by being completely controlled. I gotta hit this video. Let's go. Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare. That line lives rent-free in my head. Oh boy. Okay.
Take us down individually. It's a lot harder to do when we're grouped together in this way.
Oh my god. Okay, no, we got to start at the beginning. We got to start at the beginning.
Anti-establishment. I mean, when I hear it, I think
they're lining up like this is a DLC reveal for a Call of Duty game. Like this is like they're revealing the new Captain Price model.
I think I've pissed off basically everybody. That's what happens when you're a free thinker.
Free speech.
I've pissed off. That's what happens when you're a free thinker. Yep, that's that. Like, damn, he thought he was giving in this too. Look at him. Oh my god, I love that.
Speech is under attack that we self-censor. Maybe they take us down individually. It's a lot harder to do when we're grouped together in this.
Who the fuck is?
When the media says dissident or anti-establishment, I mean, when I hear it, I think based, very cool.
Based, very cool. God.
Independent media, actual media's most important job is holding these people accountable.
The challenge for all of us is...
I love to hear about holding people accountable when you're a mouthpiece for a Russian propaganda arm. You love to hear it. You love to hear it.
To not be passive participants in letting the country slip away.
I guess Tim Pool didn't make the cut. He wasn't in the original. Man, like having Dave Rubin, that is adorable. Meet the talent. Oh boy, talent doing some heavy fucking lifting there. Taylor Hansen, I don't know who that is. Field reporter, coverage consists nationwide, breaking news. Butte, Montana. Taylor took an interest in video reporting during a civil unrest. That's a very low bar of quality. Taylor's work has been shared by Trump. Great. The Benny Show podcast and streams live. That's a very oddly worded sentence. I guess that's what happens when you have to translate to and from Russian. The Benny Show podcast and streams live to his millions of followers every day. Benny previously hosted the Benny Report on Newsmax TV and held editorial positions at the Daily Caller, IJR, National Review, The Blaze, and BuzzFeed. Proudly broadcasts his shows from Florida. All right, let me see if I can... I'll turn down notifications a little bit. I have no idea. I think they're just trying... I don't know why. The spacing is so fucking weird. For those who didn't know, or for those who still want to donate a little bit, it is, again, everything is appreciated, but it is most helpful to go through Ko-Fi or PayPal. So if you find the links to those on my pages or on my channel at all, those are generally my most, like, the most helpful things. Like, again, every little bit helps. Ryan, have you seen the Benny Show, the Left Can't meme? Oh boy, we watched some of the Left Can't meme. We watched some of it. Thank you very much, Jason Thompson, for 50. Thank you so much. It's like the roster of the World's Worth fighting game. Man. Okay. With that out of the way, now that we know who our suspects are, the story that's been taking the world by storm this last week. New indictment alleges conservative media company took millions in Kremlin cash. Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Lauren Southern, and Benny Johnson have all worked with Tenet Media. A federal indictment unsealed on Wednesday alleges that a Tennessee-based media company, which played home to several prominent right-leaning commentators, was secretly a Russian government-backed influence operation. The company is accused of receiving nearly $10 million from employees of Russia Today, RT, a Russian state-backed media company, as part of a scheme to create and distribute... I always say distribute content to U.S. audiences with hidden Russian government messaging, according to Attorney General Merrick Garland. I'm going to turn that down for a second. Thank you very much, Final Fanboy. Listing Dave Rubin under the talent is extremely charitable. Yeah. That is not a... Oh my goodness, we have a little friend who wants to join us today. Hello. Can I help you? You are being so... She is being so cuddly and snuggly lately. I think it's because she's not feeling good, honestly. Kitty. Like I said, she's kind of just been staying in one spot all day. It's kind of worrying me. And she's going to be... You're not going to be so cuddly and happy with me tomorrow when I take you into the vet. You're not. You're going to be very mad at me. But it's okay. I love you anyway. I missed a 50 dono? Oh, ow. Oh, Jason Thompson. Thank you for what you do. Sorry I'm behind in the stream. Hope you get that house. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jason. Little baby. Look at this little fluff ball. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say something to the mic? No? Are your little claws? Little claw? She's so rumbly. She's just like... What? Are you rubbing up on me, huh? Do you see this baby right now? Do you see this little tiny baby cat? Little tiny baby cat? What? What? She is being so fucking snuggly. What is your deal? What is your deal? Oh, I love you. What? You're okay. There you go. Just don't panic, goofball. There you go. Pim Tool is rumored to take them hostage. Wee little pudding. She is a little pudding. She's a little pudding cup. And now if you guys can hear Lady whining that Miss got to go on the stream. You are too big. You're a big dog. You are. I love you. Tell you what, in our next house, I'll have a dog cam just for you. I will. She thinks I'm lying. Well, that's just rude. Okay. Sorry, I just need to check something. She's just looking up at me right now like, You're such a goofy. Misfit Satanist. Opinion on Nikocado Avocado's reveal as the actual freaking Riddler? I don't care. I don't. Like, look, we talked about last stream, we talked about like how I stay out of streamer drama and shit, and there's new leftist streamer drama that just came out like today or yesterday or whenever. I don't care. I straight up, I don't care. Nikocado Avocado, like whatever the fuck his name is, meant literally nothing to me for several years until I found out who he was, and right after that, literally meant nothing to me. Like, I find that interesting. Like at a content creator level, the fact that you can run a mukbang channel for over a year on pre-recorded material, like Thumb Warrior DX is saying, that is fascinating. Like, I applaud that. Like, there is a level of commitment to the bit that as somebody who loves committing to the bit, who is committed to quite a bit of bits, yeah, like, tip of the hat. But other than that, I don't care. It, like, means literally nothing to me. Opinion on the Minecraft movie trailer. Pain is my opinion on the Minecraft movie trailer. I'm not going to be looking forward to seeing that at the front of movies for like 6 months. Man, what a fucking bleh. All right, anyway, sorry. We're talking about important stuff here, y'all. Tenet Media worked with American conservative or heterodox media figures, including Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, Tim Pool. We just talked about these folks, who variously present themselves as independent journalists, documentarians, and political commentators. Not all of them immediately commented on having been linked to a foreign propaganda site, but Johnson soon tweeted that he and other influencers had been victims in this alleged scheme. Are you really a victim if you're being paid and you also, your goals align with the perpetrator of the scheme? That in most cases, if there is a scheme afoot, as Benny would say, if you are working under the mastermind of said scheme and you are going along with them and agreeing with what they want you to do and do it willingly and you get paid in the end, that's not a victim, that's an accomplice. So just something to keep in mind as we go through this. In his own tweet, Tim Pool echoed that line, writing in part, "Should these allegations prove true, I, as well as the other personalities and commentators, were deceived and are victims." Rubin, too, described himself as a victim, adding, "I knew nothing about this fraudulent activity, period." Interesting. While Tenet is only referred to in the indictment as U.S. Company 1, details made it readily identifiable. The indictment alleges that Tenet's coverage contained commentary on events and issues in the U.S., such as immigration, inflation, and other topics, consistent with the government of Russia's interest in amplifying U.S. domestic divisions. The indictment also alleges that not everyone affiliated with Tenet was unaware of the scheme, stating that founders 1 and 2 of the company knew the source of their funding. The founders of Tenet Media are Lauren Chen and her husband. Chen is a conservative influencer and YouTuber who's hosted a show on Blaze TV and who's affiliated with Turning Point USA. Her husband, Liam Donovan, identifies himself on Twitter as the president of Tenet Media. Let me actually look up. I believe Lauren Chen has been fired from the Blaze. Yes, Lauren Chen has been fired from the Blaze. Let me actually see. Oh, interesting. Additionally, I guess, yeah, YouTube terminated Tenet Media. And I guess Lauren Chen's channel. Interesting. Good riddance. Victims drying their eyes with wads of rubles. All right. Also worked together. So the indictment also alleges that not everyone affiliated with Tenet was unaware. The indictment alleges that the RT officials and Founders 1 and 2 also worked together to deceive 2 U.S. online commentators, Commentator 1 and 2, who respectively have over 2.4 and 1.3 million subscribers. Dave Rubin has 2.4, while Tim Pool has 1.3. How the fuck does Dave Rubin have 2.4 million subscribers? God damn. The indictment indicates that even some of the people working at Tenet found their content heavy-handed. On February 15th, Afanasieva, there we go. Sorry, I have to sound it out. Afanasieva, using the name Helena Shudra, shared a video in the company Discord channel of what the indictment calls a well-known U.S. political commentator visiting a grocery store in Russia. While he's not named in the indictment, it clearly matches Tucker Carlson, who toured such a grocery store, declaring himself slack-jawed in wonder of how nice it was. It's so funny to hear them, like, using Discord channels and shit. Like, oh my gosh, the grifters, they're just like us. They, quite famously, not like us. Oh yeah, Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker both work with Benny Johnson. Yeah, no, we watched. That's where we've watched some of Benny Johnson's stuff. We watched the that dumbass show he put on with Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. God, man, that was interminable. That was fucking miserable. Later that day, the indictment adds, Producer 1 privately messaged Founder 2 on Discord. They want me to post this, referencing the video she posted, but it feels like overt chilling. Founder 2 replied that Founder 1 thinks we should just put it out there. Producer 1 acquiesced, responding, all right, I'll put it out tomorrow. Tenet's recent content on sites like YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok has been heavily larded with critical commentary about Kamala Harris. Conservative political commentator and documented plagiarist Benny Johnson, for instance, recently started a video about her empty words. That is beautiful shade. We love a good shade with receipts linked in the from receipts from a separate outlet. Like, they didn't even give a fuck about getting credit or getting clicks or anything. They're like, no, this motherfucker lied. Here's a Washington Post story that you'll go check out. Oh, so good. Great fucking article title. Benny Johnson got fired at BuzzFeed. You will believe what happened next. Built himself into a Washington media insider celebrity, one of the most trafficked news writers to one of the most trafficked websites in the world, BuzzFeed.com. Then he was exposed as a plagiarist. 41 of his articles were based on the work of other writers, unattributed. Less than a year later, Benny is back on the internet, this time as a boss, a content creator for the conservative-leaning website IJ Review. Website isn't 3 years old and already has monthly traffic rivaling Fox News. Yeah. Is that what you call square-jawed? I don't know about that. All right, let's go to one of the last things Tenet posted on their social media sites before the indictment was unsealed concerned, ironically enough, a government employee accused of secretly acting as a foreign agent. Tenet posted a video of Linda Soon, a former aide to New York governors Andrew Cuomo and Kathy Hochul, who has been charged with using her position to benefit the Chinese government. Tenet seemed to suggest that a few words soon offered on a video call endorsing diversity, equity, and inclusion measures were part of an alleged foreign-backed messaging plot. Quote, why would the Chinese government want to push DEI in America? A tweet from Tenet read. You'll love to see it, folks. All right, let's go to... I'm trying to see what, again, like I have so many different sources. I've been like, oh, I need to check out what's been said. Oh, yeah, okay. We already covered that. I think Ari had something good, but I forgot what it was. Here we go.
When the release came out, but the thing is, when I think about Tenet Media, I actually don't think about culture war. I think about Taylor Hanson's reporting on like the pride parades and like all of that stuff, which I don't think of as being like explicitly pro-Russia. I think
It's not about Russia at all.
I know, so it just like it is weird that Tenet, which is
now this is the damage control they are running because they have unwittingly, and here's the thing, I fully believe that Tim Pool and Dave Rubin were unwittingly, like, I think they were too dumb to know what they were being used for, essentially. Like that's the case of what like really happened here. Are they victims? No, because they were gonna say this dumb shit anyway. They were just being tutored in one direction or another and paid off with it. Like the funding was like used to pay people like Tim. Now, the funny part is that they're still trying to backpedal here. They're still trying to be like, well, how does a pride parade, how does covering pride parades make it, how is that aligned with Russia? And it's like, what is Russia, how does Russia feel about gay people? How does the right wing in Russia deal with gay people? Let me actually, you know what, we can, unlimited power of the internet, if only we knew. Oh, interesting. Russia's Supreme Court ruled today that the international LGBT movement is an extremist organization, jeopardizing all forms of LGBT rights activism. Accusing the LGBT movement of inciting social and religious discord, Russian authorities should immediately end this perverse persecution of LGBT people, and concerned countries should support people and their advocates facing extreme risk and persecution in Russia. Under Russian criminal law, participating in or financing an extremist organization is punishable by up to 12 years in prison. A person found guilty of displaying such group symbols faces up to 15 days in detention for the first offense, up to 4 years in prison for a repeat offense. So, like, first off, make no mistake, this is exactly what conservatives would want to happen. Like, under Trump, the people doing Project 2025, I realize me saying that, people are going to be like, well, show me where it says that. Come on. That's just me. That's throwing it out there. Whatever. Second off, yeah, Tim, how would just covering pride parades and just talking about how awful and degenerate gay people are, how would that align with Russia and the state line that Russia is putting out to try and divide American politics? Great question. You should take your beanie off sometime so you can have a coherent thought.
had these viral moments with this specific niche of reporting is now what part of this
Oh, let me look up. All right, let me look up Lauren Chen. Is there a that Lauren Chen stand-up routine? Is there a? All right, let's do YouTube. But let's finish watching this real quick.
It's just getting linked to Russia, which is a democratic way of being like, we don't want to hear from you anymore. It's weird.
That's basically what they're saying. I mean, I can say, for the most part, like Benny Johnson's show, it's American politics. The argument is that American political opinions are disinformation or pro-Russia. That's it.
It could be
So this is a fascinating thing that's actually been happening, because for most of I grew up with a family that idolized Reagan, right? Like, oh, the Reagan years were the best. So for all of my years, my mom and a lot of my family members held on to this idea that, like, oh, Russia sucks. Like, Russia's the worst. They're communists. They're the like, you know, because in their mind, it was just that Mr. Gorbachev tear down that wall again and again for like 30 years. As weird Reaganomic conservatives are wont to do. The fascinating thing has been, in the last decade particularly, mostly because of Trump's buddy to Putin, so many American commentators have started going back on what used to be the mainline conservative stance in America, that fuck Russia. Like, we are not going to be like those Soviet commie pieces of shit. And I'm just saying, like, as I was growing up, that is what the line was. And now, like, okay, go and listen to Alex Jones talk about Russia for a second. Let me see if I can find, all right, really quick, I'll look up, see if Alex Jones talks about Russia. Oh, boy. Marco Rubio and Alex Jones clash. These are all very good, but they're not what I want. All right. Well, I don't want to take the time to find it. I didn't think I would go on this tangent. But now, here's the interesting thing: is Alex Jones, real red-blooded American? You know, we want Americana, and we love, you know, like fucking rah Alex Jones, like one of the most jingoistic, quote unquote populist. He's not populist, but jingoistic nationalist commentators out there. In the last 5 to 6 years, has really taken a liking to Russia. And he'll be like, well, I'm not for Russia. But when you look at the way they're living, they're against the LGBT madness. They're against transing our kids. They're against illegal immigration. They're pro sovereignty and pro border. Like, first off, I wouldn't be surprised if he's paid Russian propaganda at all. Like, I fully would not be surprised. But it is emblematic of a wider shift in the conservative consciousness that has followed after Trump got buddy-buddy with Russia, which they realized that Russia, being another outwardly right-leaning state, actually allies with a lot of their goals. And they realized that, like, yo, actually, we kind of wish we were more like Russia. Like, don't we? Like, we kind of want to be more like Russia. Like, we wish we had a dude who that if there was a journalist we didn't like, we could just, like, kill him, basically. Like, we wish we could just put gay people in prison for being gay. It's, no, Irish DC 95. Maybe North Korea isn't too bad. Conservatives 2030. Conservatives 2017, dude. Like, when did Trump go to North Korea? When was he talking about, no, Kim Jong-un is a very, very powerful man, very strong man. Like, it's... What? Um, do, do, do. Russia is just a gas station with nukes. Petition get dead domains Alex Jones impression on SNL. I could never do Alex Jones. I don't have the body mass at all. In fact, I'm losing body mass. So like I'm getting further away from Alex Jones every day. So it's interesting to always try and see how so many people will deflect from that, though, even though there is this kind of unspoken idea that, like, no, modern American conservatives, like, you might be talking about, like, American interests. Benny Johnson might be talking about American issues, but that doesn't mean that they can't align, which is what they're trying to portray it as, is that, like, oh, no, we don't align with Russia at all. Like, those are Russian interests. When the fact is, politically, modern conservatism has come into direct alignment with many of those same interests and opinions. Like, that's just what's happening. I'm not surprised, though, that Tim doesn't have the ability to, like, think through that for, like, a half second.
A psyop within a psyop. It's just crossed my mind. Like, it could be someone who wants to discredit people that get involved with the company and they don't even care about the politics. Who knows?
I don't know.
Discourage people
Who
from
the fuck is
sharing
this
their
dude?
clips and
All I
stuff.
know is I want to make sure everybody knows that culture war will continue to exist no matter what, because it was a licensing agreement. So the show existed before. It's nothing's changing. Literally nothing. It will be the exact same show it's always been, and we'll continue to advance whatever it is we are advancing, and it's totally independent and whatever. So whatever that means, I don't know.
I like the way you
But I suppose the argument they're making.
He is just such an eloquent speaker. How does he spin these elaborate vernacular yarns for us with his mouth hole? Just
Making
But Putin's
is,
still coming on the show, right?
truly the soul of Joyce redelivered to us.
yeah.
If we can get Putin and Kamala Harris together.
No, like Metal Luna, I don't think he has any understanding of anything. It's literally the it's literally this. Like it's literally this meme.
for
Fire
an
me after
interview, that'd
this.
be so cool.
I'm joking.
The argument I think they're making is that the deals they did with the likes of me, Ruben, and Benny were to build up an audience that they could then use to make their own content. So not that we were producing anything for their, not that we specifically were producing anything.
So people were talking about how he recently, like, apparently switched to being pro Ukraine. He's not. I believe he was doing that facetiously. I think he was doing it as a bit. And I believe, I think so. Give me 1 second. I need to answer this text. Okay. So I want to see how he wiggles around this a little bit. On Timcast IRL 4 days ago, DOJ indicts. Yeah, that's how you spell indict. DOJ indicts Russians for funding U.S. company Tenet Media, alleged, with Anthony Constantino. Timcast IRL. Now, already very funny way to frame this. Like, this is just, again, I might have to cut in some memes. I don't do it very often, but sometimes it's so perfect in a stream highlight, because it's like, this is just the, like, we're all trying to find who did this. Like, it's you, buddy. It's you. Oh, fuck it.
Before the license agreement. It will exist well after the license agreement, and
Okay,
they
here we go.
licensed it for a set period, and that meant that the show appeared on their channel. That's it. Like any other show appearing on any other network, we produce it on our own. So we'll talk about that, and admittedly, it's a slow news day. I guess that's why people are talking about me and Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin, all that stuff, and
Look at this little aw shucks motherfucker. You little weasel worm being like, oh yeah, I don't know. It must be a slow news day. I don't know why people are talking about Russian information agents spending $10 million to manipulate United States media in an apparatus I was a part of. That was just little old me. I don't know why people are talking about me with my little 1.8 million followers. Like, all right, there is a certain point at which you can no longer play the bashful card. He passed it a long fucking time ago. Own your shit, dude.
I like those guys, so we'll defend them as well because this is BS. But we do have statements from them. But we'll talk about a couple of the other stories. Liz Cheney's endorsing Kamala Harris, not surprising, and the entire Waltz family is endorsing Trump, which is kind of weird. But
it's not the entire Waltz family. It's actually a removed aspect of his family who are only like it is not even his immediate family. Again, people like Tim Pool don't want you looking into these things. So just keep that in mind. Like pretty much if they're opening their mouth, like I don't want to say they're lying all the time because sometimes every now and then, like literally, I get things wrong. I get things wrong all the time. I got the Viktor Orban thing wrong. Well, I didn't get it wrong. I doubted myself, but I'll give you that one. But like, just look it up. Also, it hurts me that I think these are magic cards back here. And I've been playing a lot of Magic. Ooh, I sorry. It was just a little Russian interference. Demos, Kaishilos. That was theirs. Yeah, it's like second cousins.
Sure. Not like Tim Waltz's kids, but just like his extended family. So we'll talk about all that. Before we get started, my friends, head over to castbrew.com and pick up some coffee if you...
Oh, fuck all of these fucking dipshits with their fucking coffee. Like, look, if you like coffee, whatever, but there's something about coffee specifically. Like, it reminds me a lot of the Daily Wire, the line of Daily Wire products they'll do, where I feel like the more generic and the more your product just speaks to like a lifestyle brand, like just here's something you'll use every day, the less work you've put into it, the less thought you've put into it, the less people should actually buy it, right? Like this is a reason. So I made a couple stickers that you can go get on Redbubble, which by the way, I do not see money from that. Like I've sold maybe 40, 50 stickers. I haven't even reached like the $20 payout limit. So like go nuts on those. Those are not helping me like financially. But there's a reason why it's taken me so long. I've talked about it. I've shared it in the Patreon. I commissioned a couple months ago now a phenomenal artist who I love their work. I think it works extremely well with my own personal style and the style of the channel for a t-shirt. But I want to, and this has been my plan for like a year now, I want to, whenever I offer t-shirts or something with an insignia or a merch piece to sell, I want two. Like I want one that is kind of a little bit more light and playful, one that is maybe a little bit more edgy or stylish, right? And that's because I don't really want to play to like gender norms. I don't want it to be like a red or a pink blue situation. I want it to play to like, I have a lot of different styles on this channel. There's a lot of different people that watch this, so I want to be able to appeal to all those different tastes. All that being said, the reason I bring all that shit up is because I put genuine effort, and other people have put genuine effort into trying to make these things that are still not available yet. Coffee is something you can simply hire somebody else to do for you, right? Like there's no real iterative process there. It's like all the other shit that they do on Daily Wire, where it's like, oh, here's buy Jeremy's razors, Jeremy's chocolates, and all this other shit. Like I feel like it's the same with the quartering, where it lays bare how little work they actually want to put into things. What are you doing? Hey. Is Leah here? No. She's not here yet. You're fine. All right, I'll be right back. I've been rambling, so I'm going to go get some water. Okay. She, her chocolate. Yeah. Yeah. Colonist maxing. Yeah, coffee flavored coffee. Like, I fucking, like stuff, that kind of stuff is why I literally, I can't do shit on the quartering, because I don't watch a lot of Jeremy's videos, mostly because they're so low effort. It reminds me a lot of like Asmund stuff, where Asmongold, I watched, because y'all will remember this, when I set out to make the synth video a couple months ago, I envisioned it as like, okay, I'll do 2 parts. I'll do Asmund and I'll do synth. As just like, here's 2 sides of like this weird brain rot, internet brain rot that affects predominantly like young white men and makes them waste their life, right? And Asmund, as I started watching for research, Banana Brains, no, I'm not going to link the eBay stuff. For some reasons, I'll link it in the Discord. As I started watching Asmund, all of his videos are basically the fucking same, where he doesn't really rant like Synth does. He just kind of fucking like regurgitates whatever's happening back to the video, and then like it kind of just gets the temperature on it from the chat. Like, he doesn't really come up with any opinions on his own, unless it's, you know, the most basic stuff like, oh, well, why can't we have sexy girls in games? And it's mind-numbing. Oh god, he's the worst. A boring content creator. Synth is pretty fucking boring too. Yeah, boring content creators, y'all. Final Fanboy, thank you for $10. Using my channel idea from earlier as an example, the obvious merch to sell there would be the work of fiction that I'm reading. If I sold coffee as merch, that would make no sense. No, and that's what I'm talking about. It's just like, it's like just listen to this shit.
Want to support our cultural endeavors. The purpose of Cast Brew is that when you buy Cast Brew coffee, it's not so much about this show. It does support us, but the funding of this coffee, when you buy it, it's to build physical locations where you can hang out, where we can have these clubs. So go to castbrew.com. Also, head over to timcast.com, click join us to become a member and support our
fucking unfucking believable, dude. Unfucking believable. The Discord is you have to go through the Patreon. As a bi girl, I want sexy girls in video games that make them gay. True. Yeah, no, Mr. Yago, hey, say what you want. Trump gets his paper, man. I mean, like, not really. He's kind of, he's losing more than he gains these days, but. Yeah, no, Asmund from Lisbonnois, Asmund literally says what other people have said, and he and his fans act like he's a very first person to say dumb conservative stuff. No, he's a parrot. Like, he has no... Like, no, it's so fucking, it's wild. Anyway, here's Tim Pool. Also, very funny how he's like, yeah, no, we're all about being on the up and up. Also, when you're buying our coffee, the coffee, like he's just straight up admitting the product doesn't really matter. You're just giving us money so we can build more stuff and spread like an infection. Like, to no real end. Kind of just giving up the game there, Tim. Jeez.
or work directly Click join us.
All right, let's
you
get
can
through
sign
this
up
a
to
little
become a
bit.
member for $10 a month or more if you'd like to give more, and then join our Discord server. We can hang out with like-minded individuals and call into our members only after show, where you can actually join the show with us and our guests. So again, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. I will stress, I am currently waiting on the next moves from our legal team, which should be coming very, very soon. And this battle, we're going to be suing the Harris campaign for defamation, is going to be very expensive.
Oh, yeah! We talked about this the other day. I guess this is the update, even though, again, like I've been meaning to stream all weekend and I just haven't. So this is from 4 days ago when this first dropped. But, oh, this is good stuff. All right, let's go. Let's go.
There's a lot of detractors and naysayers and critics, but if you support our efforts, please go to timcast.com, sign up, become a member, and again, smash that like button. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Anthony Constantino.
Happy to be here.
Who are you? What do you do?
I got a company called Sticker Mule, and I made waves a few weeks ago for, apparently you can't say that it's not nice to hate Trump supporters, so I sent a thing out telling our customers, people need to stop hating Trump supporters. Apparently you can't say that, and it ended up becoming a big thing. I ended up being the talk of the town, particularly on Threads. I told everyone Threads became the...
Let's just go. What was that? Sticker Mill, Trump. Sticker Mule. Yeah, no, I remember this. Now, a popular sticker company sent a MAGA email to its subscribers. Even employees were shocked. Its CEO said arguing about politics at work is anti-happiness. Where is my... Hello, hello, hello. Lady says hello. Where is the... There we go. No. I just want the full thing. Oh, interesting. So, I want everybody to think for a moment about the way he framed it. Again, this kind of aw shucks, like little old me, I just said this one thing. Let's actually go, let's slow our roll a little bit here. In a statement, Constantino wrote that he consulted both Trump-supporting and Democrat advisors. Almost all tech companies other than Sticker Mule are run by Democrat CEOs that create hostile environments for Trump supporters. We gave our customers an opportunity to buy shirts for $4 to support Trump or whatever else they want. We educated the world that Trump supporters have big hearts. Company leaders, blah, blah, blah. The email from Constantino did not explicitly denounce political violence. Rather, it conflated an assassination attempt against former President Trump with political hate for his supporters and called for wider social acceptance of the people who support him. But Trump's leading political opponents were quick to denounce the attack. It prompts the question, why did a sticker company get involved in the discourse surrounding the events of July 13th, pick a side, and possibly risk its customer relationships? A review of company posts on X reveals other political messages nestled among the irreverent, sarcastic posts. Used a photo of Biden from the recent presidential debate to promote its background-removing photo editing tool. On June 21st, the account used Trump's mugshot, which has become a symbol of his campaign, to promote the same feature. Before the viral firestorm, the employee recalls being warned by coworkers not to engage in discussions that could be perceived as critical of Sticker Mule or of Constantino. 2021, internal discord over a tweet published by the company that some found offensive allegedly led to firing of 6 employees. Customers did not hesitate to share their opinions on Sticker Mule. Josh Okrent, founder of the Seattle punk rock flea market, opted to sever his 12-year relationship with the company. I work with hundreds of artists who use stickers. I was incensed at that ridiculous email. Huh. Madison Moorhead McCabe and Jed McCabe, co-founders of Apocalypse, a buy-sell trade shop in Boulder, Colorado, said the last 3 years of their shop's Sticker Mule order totaled over 10,000. They pulled their business from the company, citing Trump's history of removing human rights from distinct groups, specifically women's reproductive rights and trans rights. Fucking based. Go, everybody go, if you're around Boulder, Colorado, go support the McCabes at Apocalypse. Hell yeah. Right, give me 1 second. One of my partners is here. Okie dokie. Hey, y'all. First time, weird. It's not the first time he used company marketing channels to align his company with right-wing populist icons, sometimes even emulating their cult of personality approach to personal branding. Posted a screenshot suggesting that Sticker Mule X account had been blocked by Elon Musk. Cybertruck shit. Oh, interesting. Hosted a free sticker giveaway with Andrew Tate on his Rumble channel. Tate is currently under house arrest in Romania, awaiting trial on charges of human trafficking, rape, and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women, per CNN. Again, they always kind of like to go over those little things. Oh, goodness. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but my dog got the zoomies. She got the zoomies. Hey, Simric. Oh, my God. She go... Geoduck, Geoscience, yeah, Redbubble is fucking... Like, honestly, I didn't put the stickers... The stickers I have up on the store are not there for me to make money on. They're there for people who want, like... If you want, like, a little lamb chop sticker, you can get some lamb chop stickers. Hammock, thank you very much. I'm not American, but I really hope Trump doesn't win. The bigotry in the U.S. is bad enough, and the Project 2025 would make it insane. Fingers crossed, I think we're heading towards a better outcome than that. Not by much, but a better outcome. All right, let's get through a little bit more.
Mark Zuckerberg's website, which he made to mess up X or whatever, but I became the talk of the town on Threads, became the Sticker Mill fan club for a week, and also talked about all over the internet, YouTube Rails, and all this other stuff.
I don't care about you.
After any such agreement expires. The only change to the agreement was that the location of the live broadcast moved to Tenet's YouTube channel. The Culture War never produced any content for Tenet Media. And I want to clarify that too, because I got community noted on this thing. We didn't take orders, instruction, or editorial guidance in any way. The only thing that we had was we produced the Culture War Friday mornings at 10 a.m. You can go to youtube.com/Timcast. That's where it is. But the core broadcast of the show moved from that channel to Tenet as part of a licensing agreement. So, like, if, I don't know, say CBS or some major network said, hey, we want to put Timcast IRL also on our channel at the same time slot, I'd be like, sure, whatever, pay us a fee. I wouldn't know what they were doing.
Don't worry. Thank you for putting a lamb chop sticker out.
Now, considering this, and I don't know what is true or not, I think what is likely going to happen is that the show is just going to revert back to the same exact show that it always was, and it's going to be on youtube.com/Timcast as we do. That's the only thing I can really say. I don't know. Let me read more. Never at any point did anyone other than I have full editorial control of the show, and its contents of the show are often apolitical. Examples include discussing spirituality, dating, and video games. In fact, we had one episode called "Is Donald Trump the Antichrist, or is it Elon Musk?" Which is literally when we brought on these dudes who think Donald Trump is the Antichrist. I don't know.
Drew Tang was one of them, I think.
Was that
around for that? Yeah, Drew.
I said the show is produced in its entirety by our local team without input from anyone external to the company. The Culture War is a separate company not associated with Timcast.com or other properties. It exists solely for the production of the Culture War podcast. That being said, we still do not know what is true. These are only allegations. Putin is a scumbag. Russia sucks donkey balls. And to the journalists who wish to jump the gun, create their own narrative, or lie about what is currently going on, you can eat my Irish ass. And I will stress, I am Irish. Just because I'm also Korean doesn't mean I'm not Irish.
Is that what your community noted on? They were like, Tim Pool is not, in fact, Irish?
Well, I had people tweeting and be like, you're Irish now? I'm more Irish than I am Korean. Come on. Jeez. Anyway, Dave Rubin issued a statement. He says, statement of DOJ indictment. These allegations clearly show that I and other commentators were the victims of this scheme. I knew absolutely nothing about any of this fraudulent activity, period. People of the Internet was a silly show covering viral videos which ended 4 months ago. The DOJ has never contacted me regarding this matter, and I have no intention to comment further. The screenshot directly from the indictment speaks for itself. Well, for me, I'll say what I can, I suppose, but the issue really is we cover the big stories today, and this seems to be the one that's trending and popping up all over X. But in the indictment, it clearly points out, they say that Kalishnikov, Afanasieva, I can't pronounce that, Founder 1 and Founder 2 worked together to mask U.S. companies' true source of funding by falsely portraying to Commentator 1 and 2 that U.S. Company 1 was sponsored by a private investor named Edward Grigorian. In truth and in fact, Grigorian was a fictional persona. For example, during contract negotiations, Commentator 1 requested that Founder 1 provide a profile or article on Grigorian. In response, Founder 1 sent Commentator 1 a one-page profile provided Founder 1 by other fictional persona purporting to represent Grigorian, falsely describing Grigorian. I guess. I mean, so the DOJ is alleging that some of these personalities, I guess, is Dave, what is this? Is Dave? What is this? A screenshot? Speaks for itself. Right. So you can infer, there's a list of commentators that are included in it, and it clearly shows that the indictment's allegation, I don't know if it's true, is that the founders intentionally sought to deceive the people who were involved as talent for the company. And that's about it. I don't know what else to say about it other than welcome to the 2024 news cycle. I warned you all last year it was going to get absolutely crazy, and it's only just begun. So once again, I am suing Kamala Harris for defamation. Our legal...
By no metric has it just begun. Like, we are very well into the 2024 election cycle and the news cycle. The idea that you can just sit there and be like, oh, we're just getting started. No. No, we're not. We had an assassination attempt. Biden stepped down. We had Brat Summer. It's not. Shit is not just getting wild, Tim. More importantly, that fucking pivot, Whiplash, because he knows he can't not acknowledge this shit. I gotta see. Let me see if he's what else he's said on this. Interesting. Wow. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Goodness gracious. Why do you have zoomies, lady? Goodness.
Post-millennial from Andy No. Tenet Media founders were raided just as the DOJ indictment dropped. Holy crap. We got a bunch of updates here. The Blaze has fired Lauren Chen. And we also have the Washington Post reporting YouTube has taken down Tenet Media and Lauren Chen's channels. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So here's the report from the Post-millennial. Andy No says the founders of Tenet Media, the right-wing media startup accused by the US DOJ of illegally taking nearly $10 million from Russian state actors to launder Russian influence, were raided on Wednesday as the indictment was unsealed, according to sources who spoke exclusively with the Post-millennial. The sources were not authorized to publicly speak on record, said the authorities confiscated the electronic devices belonging to Tenet Media owners Lauren Chen.
Master Chef, what the? Master Chef 117, 3 videos a day. Yeah, that's how they do. Like when they gotta really make that. I guess that Russian influencer money. Yeah, exactly. QETB. They flood the algorithm because they don't know what's going to take off, and so they just make stream highlights of whatever they think they can get.
Also known as Lauren Yu Tam, I didn't know that, and her husband Liam Donovan, around the same time the Biden-Harris administration announced the indictment. I don't think the owners had any idea about the investigation, one source said. The raid just came out of nowhere. Source said the couple, who are Canadian nationals living in Tennessee, had recently returned from a trip abroad. Chen, a right-wing YouTuber and social media personality, and her husband have not commented publicly. The company's social media accounts were still posting content just before the indictment was unsealed. Sources tell the Post-millennial that Tenet Media staff had been kept entirely in the dark since the indictment's announcement, with founders not communicating at all with any employees or contributors. Tenet Media has not issued any public comment. Now, this is interesting. There was a quickly posted and deleted comment that said, fired.
I love that. Quickly fired and deleted comment. Fired employees hear access still. I was saying have access still. This is evidence we were actually funded by Russia, and it's a disgrace. We are traitors to America. Banger tweet, bestie. Banger tweet.
Employee here, access still. There is evidence we were actually funded by Russia, and it's a disgrace. We are traitors to America, and it was deleted within a few seconds. Very interesting. And now we have the Blaze has fired Lauren Chen. I don't think they've added much else after that. And then YouTube has terminated these channels. This is absolutely crazy. And the one thing I can add to this, obviously, is we had a show licensed to Tenet. We do sponsors, right? And now we regularly have ad sales where a company will come to us and say, we'd like to sponsor your show. And it's immediately now like, who are you? Where are you from? Why are you doing this? Because the crazy thing about Lauren Chen is we've known her for so long. She's been a prominent producer for over a decade. She works for The Blaze. She was a contributor to TP USA. And everyone was just like, oh, yeah, she's starting a company. Sure. This is nuts. But the crazy thing I would also add is it actually is very scary. This indictment is an allegation not yet proven in court, and that's a statement from the DOJ. The DOJ said that. They said these are allegations not yet proven to be true, and these individuals are presumed innocent. And that's not reference to Lauren Chen or Liam Donovan. The crazy thing is that YouTube took down Lauren Chen's channel. YouTube terminated Lauren Chen's channel. She's not been indicted on any crime. She's not been accused of any crime. She's listed in this document. There are some damning allegations, but she's not yet been indicted, and YouTube just nuked their channels instantly. Tenet, I could understand. But even after that, these are still just allegations, which is kind of worrying.
Yeah.
Well, on the Andy added an update, which says shortly after the report was published, Tenet Media announced privately to its staff that it was ceasing operations effective immediately.
Whoa, wait, where? When did he say that? He tweeted?
No, he just told me because he was watching.
Oh.
And he just told me that you didn't update and it wasn't there at the top. And I'm looking at the story.
I see it. Yeah, shortly after this report published, Tenet Media announced privately to its staff that it was ceasing operations effective immediately.
Yeah.
If you guys ever wonder why Libby's on her laptop during the show, she is actively always working.
Yeah.
Well, I was just talking to Andy.
So, Timcast, the company where we do the show, I'll give you a quick history. I started a YouTube channel a long time ago. Worked for a couple.
Again, very funny. The lack of self-awareness here to be like, oh, we've known, like, of course Laura is on the up and up. We've known Laura for a long time. And then they turn around and like, oh, I'm just talking to Andy Ngo. Like, well-known fucking grifter and liar. well-known, like, brain injury milkshake patient Andy Ngo. Incredible. The lack of self-awareness that they can't just be like, man, I'm like, on one hand to be like, oh, you got to be careful who you trust, because we all knew Lauren, we like Lauren, and then to turn around and be like, we trust this guy, obviously. Like, this is a source you can trust. The guy who said that there was cement in milkshakes, which was, by the way, not true. When people, if you ever fucking come into my comment section again, I know your people are out there who are like, actually, Andy Ngo was assaulted by a cement milkshake. No, he was not. He was not. The milkshake thing is an urban legend you have bought into. Does Andy still have the sudden British accent, or has he worked that out already? Oh God, I forgot about that. I love that though. I bet those magic cards are just for decoration. I bet they are. They look like they're all, not all of them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, well, that looks like a beta because it has the white border, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of these are like alpha that he just keeps back there to like show off. Oh, that looks like a secret layer box, actually. If you look up the... There's a real-time investigative journalism, guys. Yep, look at that. Look at that. Come on. It has the text underneath it and everything. I don't miss. I don't miss. Come on. Come on. It doesn't really matter what's in the milkshake, though. It's assault either way. I do not think throwing a milkshake at somebody should be called assault. Like, straight up. Harassment? Maybe. Assault? No. If somebody gets bashed, like, if you get beaten on walking down the street for being gay, that's assault. A milkshake? No. What if they're lactose intolerant? Close your mouth. It's not it's not a peanut allergy. It's not like a peach allergy where it can't come into contact with skin. Quiet Kitten, I have some white borders, but they're just 4th or 5th or 6th edition. Yeah, I have whatever the set after beta was, I have some white borders of that. I have like a couple dark, the dark writ the dark ritual I use for my Asterian vampire deck, and one of the dark writs I use for my pirate deck. I don't know, I have some, not beta, but 3rd series. Unlimited, that was the one, first white border, where they flooded the market with everything.
Big media outlets, they paid me good sums of money when I worked for Disney and for Vice. Then I used that money to invest in my YouTube channel, which...
Banana Brains with the banger. It's only assault if the milkshake has salt added to it. Hell yeah.
It grew and generated revenue. Carl Benjamin had me do a guest spot on his channel, which gave me a bunch of subscribers. Shortly after that, I went on Joe Rogan, got way more subscribers. Big YouTube channels make lots of money. Reinvested back into the company. The company grew substantially. So when Lauren Chen approached us about a deal, it was like, hey, we'd like to license your show for distribution. That's the gist of it. The show already existed. It's on youtube.com/timcast. It has 1.3 million subscribers. And I was like, okay. And then that's it. It was not exclusive. This is absolutely insane. That I don't know. I don't know. They fired her even. I got.
So you put all of that work in and never stopped to like his defense here essentially is that he never thought to like look into where the funding for a company was coming from at all. Like, somebody else is starting a company that is in your sphere, and you don't stop to think like, hey, where's that money coming from? Because if I tried to start a company, it would actually cost this much. You're just like, yep, okay. Take my content. Give me more money. I'm Tim Pool. I don't think about things. I have a beanie. I can't with this guy. Yeah, no, exactly. Metal Luna, the guy is just telling on himself by going, someone came up to us with money and we said yes. Yeah, like, I understand you're trying to, like, do damage control here, Tim, it's not working the way I think you want it to, buddy. It's just not. Yeah, also, Final Fanboy, great point. I'm not sure I'd want Carl fucking Benjamin on my resume. Like, come on.
I gotta say, it really does look like, from this reporting, she's gonna be charged. Her and Liam are gonna face criminal charges.
There's another statement in the story, apparently.
What is it?
That Donovan sent a message to staff saying, as most of you may know by now, there's a federal investigation surrounding Tenet at the moment. There have been no indictments against us or the company. We've hired legal counsel and are working through the legal issues. We hope to provide more clarity soon. However, it is clear that given the nature of the investigation, we have no choice but to stop all work on Tenet. I do not foresee it coming back.
Absolutely.
Lily Love's great fucking point. Tim Pool dropped out of high school at 14. I'm not shocked he didn't look into where Tim money was coming from. Oh, yeah. No, I know. I know Mighty Storm. Tim is an actual malicious liar. He's known for not reading parts of articles in his videos when they go against his viewpoint. It's like, again, if you want the full lowdown on Tim Pool, please, please, please go check out the Some More News video. Simric, thank you for $2. TBF, Freddy's custard shakes are pretty thick. I could go for a thick custard shake, know what I mean? My father watches Pool, hate it. He's so, like, man, I don't know how much I can keep saying it, but like there's not a world in which I would ever go to, like, oh, you know, something in the right-wing sphere happened. I want to react to a reaction on stream, or I want to know what people are saying on stream. There's not a fucking world in which I'm going to Tim fucking Pool first. Like, he's got no Riz. He is the anti-Rizzler. Man. Ridiculous. Simric, Dead Domain is thirsty tonight. It's that, all that damn fucking the Cloud fan art, man. It's got me wanting to do another Cloud cosplay. On what? What are you thinking about? I see a little smile over there. Are you blushing? No. Okay. Do I come blush on camera? No. Okay. No. So you are blushing? No. You're cute. Yeah, I wanted to cover, I don't think I need to fucking, yeah, my partner is off camera. That's who I'm talking to. I wanted to go into Brianna Wu because here's the thing. Brianna Wu, so I was thinking of doing a video just dedicated to Brianna. I probably won't. What I'll probably do is a whole stream dedicated to her, and then I'll cut that up because there's so much to talk about. I don't want to take the time and effort to do, like she is not deserving of a full documentary. She is deserving of a deep dive, though, because there is a lot to cover with her, and I've already started doing research, particularly into, into the weird shit around. All right, how can I pull that up without showing porn? Because I need to go to my bookmarks. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna do a thing, and that way I can. Yep, there it is. Kiwi TP. How do I pull that up without showing porn? That is, look, whatever. Who cares? I'm going to just put that on there. I do want to show that Kimberly Guilfoyle clip real quick. So all All right, let's go over the Brianna Wu thing really quick, and then Kimberly Guilfoyle, because there's just this absolutely unhinged, fucking insane, deranged piece of Brianna Wu concept art, comic book art. I don't fucking know. At some point, she was working on like an animated series that her parents like footed the bill for. And it is. Somebody responded to me because I wasn't able to find it because I don't know what like it was originally called. So I before I show the full picture here, I want to show the description because I feel like it's really the guiding star of what you're about to see. If you haven't seen it yet, Brianna Wu's latest art project is cover art for the magazine Crossed Genres. Frank Wu explains. That's her husband. Brianna went to University of Mississippi, where a famous race riot took place. Thus, the building is the Lyceum, where you can still see the bullet holes in the columns. As one of the lone liberals on campus, Bree wanted to do her own commentary on it. Commentary's misspelled. So, we see Martin Luther King hit with a rocket, but it's okay because he's a Terminator. And we also see KKK members, but they're all skinny, sexy ninja girls in skimpy white outfits, and now that MLK is free at last from his fleshy shell, he's going to kick their butts. 60s girls in go-go boots and jetpacks fight alongside. Have y'all not seen this at all? Oh, I thought this was like common fucking knowledge. Okay. Prepare yourself. Because whatever you think that's going to look like, I promise you it's worse. I promise you. Brianna Wu's original art is worse. There's just it's hard to know where to begin, really. It's the bizarre, spindly characters that are all seemingly, because they're all basically the same size, so they kind of look like they're on the same plane, but like there's this weird, not quite forced perspective where Terminator, Martin Luther King, he's at a pulpit in the middle of this field, and there's a lot. So this one's a KKK member. This one's a KKK member. I think maybe this one with the samurai sword is with the KKK, and then this one. And the rest of them are, I don't know, just white women fighting. All right, let me see if I can zoom into this. No, I want to, All right, here's what we're going to do. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. Now we can get all up in them details. Hell yeah, let's go. Look at... Okay, no, but now I actually want it. There we go. Why is it? It's just zooming to one area. I want it. There we go. Nope. There we are. Haha. Just... I'm gonna be honest with you. The perspective on this is so fucked. I thought this was the front of her chest, until I just zoomed in. This is Brianna Wu. For those who don't know, I'm giving you a teaser for an inevitable upcoming... God, what is this hair? It doesn't even go, like... I'm giving you a teaser for an inevitable upcoming video. Or let's call it, it'll be a stream. It'll be a stream. It might not be before Tuesday, because Tuesday's a debate, so it might be late next week. Well, no, because I got the fucking movies next week. I got the Matt Walsh movie and God's Not Dead 5. Here, one thing I will say, I kind of like the clouds. If you actually, oh God, if you actually look at the clouds, I like the way the clouds are colored. That's nice. Everything else is how, like, how it also appears as though either he is naked or the physical form of Terminator Martin Luther King has merged with the pulpit, which would be artistically symbolic, I'm assuming, but I don't think Brianna has that kind of depth in her. And like, the screens don't appear to be really attached to anything. They're off center. Or I guess they're kind of centered. But it's... Yeah, his torso doesn't line up with the pulpit. He doesn't appear to have legs. Brianna Wu, for those, because I know some people are probably more confused than anything. So I'm going to... Yeah, you're probably really confused seeing this and wondering, who's Brianna Wu? Let me clear it up for you by probably confusing you even more. Brianna Wu was originally best known for being one of the three main focal points, according to her, what she would say, of Gamergate, alongside Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian. The thing is that Brianna Wu kind of wasn't until she literally made herself one, in a way. And that's not to justify the harassment she faced, but she quite literally saw a harassment campaign that was happening with Zoe and Anita and jumped into the middle of it to make herself a target. And when she made herself a target, she then spun that into doing a bunch of interviews, doing a bunch of press. Let me see if I can find... I think it was Revolution 60. See, I don't want to... Okay. Now, this ended up going into... yeah, let me go. Actually, let's do... well, I don't know anything about this channel, so going in blind, but I just want to get a look at this game. I'm sure it's some cringe chud dipshit, like whatever.
It stinks.
I don't really know why I'm making this video. There's enough prejudice on the internet to keep most gamers away from Revolution 60, the previously iOS exclusive adventure game from Giant Space Cat, simply because Brianna Wu is the head of the studio. But therein lies the problem. You may not like a person's rhetoric or their attitude. I mean, God knows I gave her a chance, and I'm basically hate watching her on Twitter now, and I admit to being a reasonably level-headed feminist. You may not like a dev, but you can still enjoy their content. I mean, look at Fez. It wouldn't be a stretch that someone who spouts as much vitriol as Brianna Wu would make a fantastic game, right?
God damn. Brianna Wu dust. Not Dust and Elysian Tale. Oni plays. I don't want to touch Oni plays. What was Dust? Yeah, no, it looks like a knockoff Code Lyoko. This was, by the way, in the last like 8 years.
Well, no, because it's shit. In the future, a fifth column has drastically undermined China's government, turning it into an expansionist empire that stands opposed to the United States in a new Cold War with the arms race involving biotechnology. An ultranationalist collective, I'm calling it that, created the espionage organization known as Chessboard to orchestrate events and perform actions the US is unwilling to, advised by a state-of-the-art AI cluster. Agents are pulled from the cream of the crop out of the science and military fields, and combined with the guidance of Chessboard AI, mission success rates against the PRC are extremely high. One such mission involves an all-female squad tasked with regaining control over US aerospace station N313, an orbital platform that is adrift over Guangzhou, China, and is poised to cause an international incident due to the presence of WMDs. This Black Ops team is led by Minuet Kylie, a sassy woman with bug eyes and a standard-issue chessboard dress, I guess. Amelia Melponi, a US aerospace engineer, is a sassy woman who has experience with the station. Valentina Guazzo, or...
God damn, just look at the... Like, yo, people want to fucking complain about, like, character... Oh, it's ugly art, it's ugly character designs. Y'all don't know how bad it could get. Look at this shit with your eyes and tell me you still want to have them. Oh, man. It's giving early Xbox. It's giving early Xbox, like, pre-rendered cutscene.
Unknown, which is a stupid code name, by the way, is the pilot who was left without a personality after she's caught in a grenade explosion.
Fuck, you know what it's giving? Yeah, you know what? In props to this dude, I might watch the rest of this. Give him a follow for now. It's giving Siberia for the PlayStation 1. Yeah, let's see if we can get some Siberia gameplay on here. All right, so let's go. Final Fanboy, thank you for $5. I made CG on the cheap and Blender that looks better than that. Many have. Antifa Fox, you and President Sunday should talk. What do I have something to talk about with them? Michelle Marty, thank you for $5. I don't even think Tim Pool knows that Clark Kent is Superman. I wouldn't be surprised if the disguise fooled him. All right, let's go. Let's get in this a little bit. This was a PlayStation 1 adventure game. And that loading is part of the game. All right, let's go to get some of the action sequences. Yeah, no, different Siberia. Siberia with a C, not Siberia with an S. All right, I want to go to the... All right, let me see. There's some wild shit in the... let's get some cutscene. I know there's got to be... Oh, there we go. Yeah, here we go.
Alexi, a couple of strangers just looked into my storeroom. I think one of them had a plas pistol. Is everything okay?
Alexi, unauthorized personnel. Seal off all levels.
It's... Oh, man. Oh, I'll have to check out the research then. Oh, don't... See, here's the problem. Ash Crowley, it looks like that one Iron Maiden album cover that had all those crap jank CGI models on it. Dance of Death. Which is a problem because Dance of Death is actually a fucking killer album. But... that fucking cover... For those who... Alright, for those who don't know, let's... Yeah, look, it has its own Google suggestion album cover specifically. And this was 2003. This was years after this should have ever been like a quantity. A quantity. Oh, well, that's too fucking blurry. I can't really do shit with that. Like just one of the biggest and greatest metal bands in the world, and this was an actual album cover they put out on a good record. On a good record. Like, oh, this is real. Look at this fucking wolf with a baby on him. And then they just have Eddie, who's just like, yeah, I don't know what the thought was, but it's rough. Also, if anybody doesn't know, while we're talking about weird, bad old games, there was an Iron Maiden first-person. It was a rail shooter. Speaking of old pre-rendered bullshit, I kind of like Ed Hunter. It's not good. Like, this is not a good video game. Do not go like spend money and try and find it. But like, it kind of has a vibe to it, right? Like MIDI covers. And you play through, I think you go to an asylum. Yeah, here we go. Go through the apocalypse. Oh, no, this is all pre-rendered, so it's like an on-rails shooter. Like, look at that fucking 90s ass demon. Oh. Alright, let's go. I know there's some other shit. This game is like... Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I love the aesthetic of this. I really do. Bruce Magnuson's Slayer's X is self-aware, though, a parody of Y2K. Slayer's X fucking whips. Slayer's X was rad. Slayer's X was, like... there's a lot of, like, you know, retro throwback, like, those kind of shooters. I don't think there has ever been one that really hit the aesthetic on the head like Slayer's X. Like, it was so dead on accurate about, like it felt like it could have been a fucking a Duke or a Blood mod back in the day. Well, I mean, like, here's the thing. Ed Hunter is not a good video game to play. Like, it is slow. It's kind of boring. But it is fun as, like, a weird piece of, like, hey, remember that time Iron Maiden made a video game? So, yeah, that is a brief... So, remember when I said, like, who's Brianna Wu? Everybody here, if you didn't know who Brianna Wu was before, now you know two things. You know, she made this for some reason, and she also made that game that we just looked at that sent us on a tangent for some reason. Now, keep that in mind, because not only that, she also ran for Congress. and designed her own logo. And this is the one she decided to show off. Right? So Brianna Wu has long been kind of a almost a political locale in a lot of ways, but because of her proximity to Gamergate and how outspoken she was, a lot of people, I feel, gave her deference as far as like wanting to help her uplift the voices that she was purportedly trying to uplift. And that included a plethora of interviews with like, oh, this Gamergate person. They were all from the same like angle of like, this lady used to be a victim of Gamergate. Now she's running for Congress to change that. And now, who the heck is Tim Pool? I can't do it twice. Kieran Dave. Oh, it's Brianna Wu. I remember when she told me on Twitter that as a non-binary person, I was a quisling. That's how I learned the word, actually. So she is now, and Brianna Wu is trans, and it has been, she's just now coming out. It has been kind of an open secret that she's very like coyly dodged around, or she would say it's coy, but it's like everybody's kind of known. The thing is that she, more than anything else, has bought into far-right narratives about trans people because she was able to transition at an early age. She was able to transition in a family with money. She did not experience a lot of other physical realities, tangible realities, that modern trans people do. And she doesn't really give a fuck about that because she has spent, in short order, she has spent the last couple years buddying up to centrists and right-wingers like known fucking racist / borderline Nazi Lauren Southern, who she showed off her Porsche collection to, and they had a nice little chat. I loathe. Oh, God. Sorry. So this has been a big tangent over Brianna Wu, who I deeply loathe and deeply dislike, and we'll do a more in-depth, that is just a brief tangent, because I will do a more in-depth, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me actually, oh, damn it. I wanted to look at, let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, Pick Me Bougie Twat is a pretty good summation, honestly. Rot cuts. What was I doing? What was I doing? Oh, right, yeah, Lauren Chen. Yep, Banana Brains, you and me. Does anybody have a link to it? It's not. Oh, did it get zucked? Oh, an interview with Lauren Chen. Weird. Nerd Product is in on this too. Oh. Banana Brains. Based. Thank you. Way to be a bro. This better not be femboy porn. I mean, like, not for me, just for, you know. Oh, I gotta zoom out. All right, y'all, we haven't done a stand-up comedy bit in a while, and I might have to throw this in 18 minutes. All right, I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Here's what I'm going to do. I need to find other bad conservative stand-up because I've been wanting to do a bad conservative stand-up comedy, a third stream, because if you guys didn't know, or if you guys haven't seen it on the channel, I like that. Those are really fun streams for me to do, and I want to do a third one. I just can't find a lot of people that I haven't already covered, so this is going to be great. Let's go. I mean, like, it's going to be terrible.
Introduce our next person coming up on stage. We're going to have a good time. Everybody welcome Lauren Chen.
Minds Fest. Oh my God, I remember Minds Fest.
All right, how you guys doing tonight? You good?
Oh, that's too loud.
Yeah. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be with you. I'm so happy to be in Austin. This is an amazing city. Are you guys from here? You locals? Heck yeah. That's so awesome. You guys, you clean up amazing, okay? You barely even look homeless. It's just good for you. Good for you. But no, I do love Austin. Last time I was here, actually, funny story, I saw a homeless guy walking what I thought was a small dog.
One of my favorite things about like beginner comics or comics who they emulate what they've seen other comics do, but they probably haven't been, I'm willing to bet Lauren Chen hasn't been to a lot of open mics. Like, she hasn't actually sat and watched, because there's a difference between watching a comic on TV and watching a also experienced, funny, talented local comic work through material, because you see how people go through stuff that they haven't perfected yet. You see how people bounce off of things, how people might bail out of a joke, people like something doesn't land, so they just go, okay, well, crossing that one off. And like, a good comic can try out new material, completely fuck it up, and then turn that fuck up into a punchline and get people laughing, get people back on their side. What people like Lauren do, because she's just emulating like the style and tenor of other comedians, is what you just saw at the beginning there, where she said she made a joke, it kind of some people laughed, and she didn't know where to go from there, because either she isn't used to her routine, she doesn't have a segue from one joke to another, and so she paused even for a second and went, no, but to try and regain her footing there. And like already, and I know that was a lot to talk about for like what was essentially just a tiny little moment, but that tells me so much of what I need to know about this already. Like, so much.
Dog on a leash. Turns out, no, giant rat. So it's one of those fun Austin stories that I have. Love that. Love nature. This morning, was eating on a patio with my toddler. Throughout our meal, had 3 different homeless people come yell at us, which is like basically the Austin version of dinner and a movie. It's, you know, entertainment as you eat. It's good stuff. But no,
there's also yeah, like no chemistry with the crowd, even though that's an important part of, if you are going to make a roast set, which like tons of comedians do. They come through town because it helps endear you to an audience. And I've had comedians ask me like, hey, what is like the place around here? What's like the bad part of town around here? Because they have the same jokes, but they're going to slot in something local. So people in the crowd who are half drunk will go, woo, and they'll, you know, it gets them more invested in the joke. That's like the opposite of what she's doing, where she is just like she's being very mean, and not in like a fun way. Like, she's just insulting homeless people and like, I guess kind of like trying to laugh with the people of Austin, but also she's very clearly not delineating the difference between Austin and Austin culture and the homeless people she's harassing. So it's like, it's the difference would be, for that, would be something like her saying like, oh, in Austin, you guys have a real homeless problem here. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then tell her joke with a better fucking setup and a better fucking punchline. But it would be like that small delineation, right? Whereas the joke she's telling is like, oh yeah, no, in Austin, they call watching homeless people harass you a dinner and a movie. And it's like, I know what you're trying to do there, but the way you're putting it out there makes it seem like like that's just, you think everybody knows, like is super familiar with that feeling, and that's not the case. Like the familiarity is a big part of like comedy, and especially with a premise. Like if you're going to launch into something, anybody can do anything ridiculous and stupid, but you have to start from common ground. You have to start from a place where people recognize either the situation you're talking about, which I'm assuming a lot of people don't, or like the feeling you're talking about. Like it's why so many comedians talk about sex and relationships, because most people have been in relationships, or most people have had awkward sex at one point or another. Like there are reasons behind why so much comedy has so much in common. Like why every fucking comedian over the age of 40 has an entire set about their kid doing something. So it's like, kids are funny, kids are dumb, and 80% of your audience probably has them. Like, but she's just coming at it from such a fucking weird place. Wild Sarah TV, thank you for subscribing at tier 1. Tofu Ghost, thank you for following. Poya Pan, thank you for following.
It is really sad seeing all.
Reed, have I done comedy before? Yeah, I've done stand up. I don't do it currently just because, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I'm way too fucking busy. I do miss doing it. I was like, I don't want to say I was like great or anything, but I was like, I did it for about 4 or 5 months, and I was getting booked at shows, and I was getting I got booked for some. I actually opened for not Taylor Tomlinson. That would have been a much bigger deal. Oh fuck, I forgot her name. Brittany. It's gonna kill me now. I feel really terrible now. But no, I have. If you go and find on my like Instagram the videos of me in an orange dress doing stand up, that's a show I opened for. Brendan Schaub has competition for being unfunniest comedian. Oh fuck, man. Brendan. So most comedy shows because I used to work at a comedy club, which is where a lot of this experience with seeing actual stand-up comes in, is not just like local comedians. I used to work like late night shifts at a local comedy club. So like I would see multiple sets from the same big fucking comedians back to back to back. So I saw Gabriel Iglesias, I saw Janie Kennedy, and like you name them. I've not all you name them, like not big names, but I've seen a lot of people. Brendan Schaub is one of, because a lot of people, if there's a bad show, and there are bad shows, like sometimes there are bad fucking shows where like afterwards at the bar I'll overhear people being like, yeah, no, it's actually the same, he's doing the same material, I saw him like 7 years ago and it's the same thing. But most people are like, oh yeah, you know, it was okay, I was having it, like we had a good time, we got drinks. They look on the bright side, right? Because generally you want to get together, you want to laugh, you want to have fun. Brendan Schaub is the only comedy show I've ever seen where people walked out being like, that kind of fucking sucked. Like that was fucking bad. And believe me, I've seen some bad stuff. Just stuff that just isn't funny. Brendan Schaub, I have no clue who he is. You're so lucky. He's a fucking Joe Rogan orbiter.
These homeless people, and my heart goes out to them. And I honestly think that being homeless, that's got to be one of the worst situations that a person could be in, frankly. At the same time, though, not popular to say this, as bad as it is, I'm sure, to be a homeless person, also not great to be around homeless people, right? And now, am I saying we are the victims here? No.
So she's missing the biggest thing here, and I'm in like a weird punch-up mode, I guess. The biggest thing here is that she's missing opportunities for actual jokes. Like it seems like she's like missing punchlines. And she's doing a thing that a lot of comedians make the mistake of, and thinking that abruptness is a good replacement for a punchline, and it's not. Where she's like, she was expecting a laugh when she stopped, she paused for a moment, she wanted to let it sit, and then be like, At the same time, though, she was expecting more reaction to that, and people didn't, because there wasn't much to actually react to, except for the idea of a joke. Okay, it's like, there's, again, you got me in a comedy mood. I'm thinking of one of my favorite comedians, one of my big like comedy influences or whatever, is John Panette. And if you haven't seen any of John Panette's stand-up, it's phenomenal. But Panette has a joke where he talks about, you know, how salad isn't food. Salad isn't food. Salad comes with the food. Salad is a promissory note that food will soon arrive. When I get a salad, I think, oh, good, something good is coming. I'll wait right here. I watched a lot of that special in high school. I fucking loved it. But that joke is basically describing what she's doing, where it's like, that awkward pause is not a punchline. That awkward pause comes with the punchline. It is a promissory note that a punchline will soon arrive. And that is the idea that the people are actually laughing at. It's like, okay, no, we're leaning in, we're getting ready to build up, we're going. And then she just, like, just nothing. Man, just Rizless.
But it's not nothing, right? It's not nothing. Like, I don't want to
nothing.
be the person who can't afford dinner. Obviously not. But I also don't want to be the person who gets mugged to pay for dinner, and I feel like that's fair. But no, I just, the problem I think is that over the past few years, people have decided that the worst thing you could do.
So that just went nowhere.
Is to be insensitive. And if you don't think
That
this
just
is
went
a problem,
nowhere.
we actually
What?
We have American cities now where people are so afraid
God
of even
damn.
being perceived as being offensive that they would literally
And now she's
rather
just-
live with human feces on the street than tell a homeless person to take a hide and crap in the woods. Like, that is the level that we have reached, which is insane.
Tripping over her
And
words.
It's insane. Haven't seen that here yet in Austin, thankfully, but
So whoa. You cannot come out guns. All right, if you are going to go with a premise for a joke, for a setup, right? This is what very famously, you call it committing to the bit. You got to stick with the premise, because if you undermine the premise, it's breaking the logic. Like, comedy is a performance. Unlike any other performance, you need to maintain an illusion for the audience. It's like what I was just saying about comedians will come to town. They'll ask people who work at the club about, like, hey, what's like the bad part of town around here? Where's the place everybody goes? What's like a shitty restaurant that I can mention in my act? It's like, it creates the illusion that the person has actually been around town, that they actually give a fuck where they are, that they are taking an interest in the people, and they don't break that, right? So you don't start a set by being like, Austin and your homeless people, right? And everything's so fucked up because everybody's homeless. And then you just immediately go to, I haven't seen that happen around here. Because then it's like, well, what the fuck were the last 3 minutes for? Lauren.
it's real. It's real. The feces in the street, it's not just a meme. It's actually happening. I don't know if you guys have been to Seattle, but it's actually a thing there. When I was
Shark
in Seattle,
30. This meme is very real.
Maybe 2 hours tops before I ended up seeing feces. Like, to give you context,
Final
I saw
Fanboy,
Starbucks,
thank you for $5. Did she not get the memo that she's supposed to tell jokes?
I saw Starbucks in Seattle. Like, that's how big of a problem it is. No, it's and it's funny because I've spoken to people who live in big cities about stuff like this, because I suppose I'm a rube. I think that warrants some conversation. And the thing is, I feel like a lot of people who live in cities, they have a toxic relationship with these cities. It's the strangest thing. You'll notice it, I swear, next time you talk to someone who's actually from a city. But you can mention something that's bad.
So, and here's again, like, she's missing little, what comedians call tags is when, like, hey, if you go up and do a comedy set and somebody's like, oh, hey, that was a good joke, but can I give you a tag? Because a lot of people ask, they don't want to be rude and just, like, try to write your shit for you. They'll be like, hey, can I give you a tag? And it would usually be like a little idea that they had. They were like, oh, you know what? Actually, I think this would punch it up. Oh, hey, this would work a little bit. And usually it does, because collaborative writing, collaborative creation comes up with stuff that you don't often see. That's a wonderful thing about comedy. Every major famous comedian, I guarantee you, they have other famous comedian friends that they bounce jokes off of all the time. This did not have that. And I can tell because there are little tags that I would give her, and I would be like, hey, you know what, actually, I forgot what she even fucking said at this point. What was the thing she was saying?
And it's funny because I've spoken to people who live in big cities about stuff.
That's what I was going to say. As she was talking about, like, people who live in big cities. A good chance for a joke would be to give that a name. Be like, you know, like, I've noticed that people in big cities, they have, you know, I can't think of a name right now, but I would think of a pun, right? Where it's like, they just have this, like, toxic relationship, you know, and like, or do something that's relatable, like, you know, like that ex-wife that you still kind of want to fuck, like something like that. Maybe that's a little bit more crass, that breaks that kind of barrier interact, something. But it's just her talking. And if you don't have punchlines, proper build-up punchlines, tags in the middle, stuff to break it up, you're just talking on stage with awkward pauses. Like, that's all this is. It is just talking awkwardly on stage. And then getting slightly more flustered when people aren't laughing like you're expecting them to. And it's like, it's a self-fulfilling cycle. Really, where like you're not actually telling jokes, but you're expecting people to laugh, but people aren't laughing because you're not telling jokes. Oh boy.
Like this, because I suppose I'm a rube. I think that warrants some conversation. And the thing is, I feel like a lot of people who live in cities, they have a toxic relationship with these cities. It's the strangest thing. You'll notice it, I swear, next time you talk to someone who's actually from a city. But you can mention something that's bad about that city, and they'll simultaneously...
See, I don't even know if that was a dig.
Happens, but also say that it's not that
at
bad.
Austin.
And then hit you with something that's even worse. And this is something that I deal with people from New York all the time. Like, you'll try to talk to them about the issue of crime, which is actually getting pretty serious in New York. You say something like, hey, by the way, car got broken into last time in the city. It's pretty terrible. Are you guys safe? How do you feel? Do you think things are getting better? And I swear, they will turn around, look in the eye, and hit you with something along the lines of crime. Oh, you want to talk about crime? You're bringing up your car.
So this is another sorry, like, she's making almost like every beginner mistake I can think of. Like, right now she would be halfway through her story at an open mic set and she'd get called off the stage because the 4-minute timer went off. What she is doing is she is making the worst mistake, one of the worst mistakes you can make in comedy, and that is not editing, right? Because setup, punchline, that's the formula, right? You don't need to add in extra shit unless you are trying to do an additional setup or for an additional punchline. Unless you are trying to make the joke that, like, oh my gosh, you know, this story was so long-winded, and then this happened, and then this happened. Like, unless that is part of the joke, which this is not. And so it just ends up rambling like she's doing now, to the point where you're losing sight of what the initial premise of the joke was, which was, for those who don't remember, like 2 minutes ago, I realize it's a long time to listen to her. She was talking about how, like, when you get to a city, they'll say, like, oh, it's not that bad, but then they'll hit you with something even worse. And it's like, okay, after that should be 2 lines. 2 lines. Like, that is not a bad premise for a joke. That is not a bad setup. But you do, okay, when people take you to the city, they'll, you know, say, oh, you know, it's actually not that bad. And then they'll hit you with some shit that's even worse than the stuff you noticed. They'll be like, yeah, you know, it's not that bad actually just living in human feces. Yesterday, I saw a man eat a dog. Like, just something ridiculous, or like something, right? That was not a good example of me being funny because I'm not thinking about it. But it's very clear that Lauren didn't either. And it's missing that snap. Like, you're going so long with this joke that people are like, it creates this weird, I think I talked about this on one of my previous comedy streams, where it creates this weird dissonance where you're like, okay, wait, is the joke coming? Is it, did I miss it? Where is it? What happened? Where's the joke? Oh, man.
Last week, my entire family was kidnapped. They shot their dog, they pulled out their fingernails, kidnapped my grandmother, then committed identity theft on her specifically. You're talking about your car.
And see, now this is going on too long.
Okay. You're right. I'm sorry. New York is terrible. Or great. I don't even know what they're trying to argue there, but it's pretty crazy. I've told that story about the
Stacey.
feces to people who live in cities, and I get a lot of dismissive attitudes. I get a lot of, well, that's just
I don't think
that's
it's
life in a city, you know?
God damn.
It's not normal. Thank you. And the thing is, I agree. I agree. Everywhere has pros and cons. It's
Reminded me of a
fair,
Felix
but I feel
Biederman had about
not having
conservatives are
capitalism,
unable to
that's
be
a pretty
comedic because
low
they get
bar.
angry at
And
their
for
own setup
reference, I
before
don't
they
know
even
if
get to
you
the
guys are
punchline.
following
It's
what's
true. I mean, it's
happening in
true.
Haiti right now, but it's basically it's a failed state at this point. Very little government, if any. There's actually reports of roving cannibal gangs eating people in the streets, and it's crazy. I was seeing these reports. I was watching videos about it, reading articles. And it's the darndest thing. In none of those reports, none of those videos, none of those articles covering the cannibal gangs, did I hear anything about feces in the streets. So it's almost, I mean, I feel like if the cannibal warlords can find a bathroom, so can the homeless guy. I don't think that's too much to ask. And it's kind of wild. You could actually have a Haitian gang member, you know, he's chilling, he's growing up some torso.
Stand up.
You put him in San Francisco. He's looking around the homeless encampment. He sees feces on the street. He goes, "You people live like animals," and he just gets the hell out of there because he's not used to that level of degeneracy. We could do better. I'm just saying, like, we could do better. But no, it is sad, and I feel like we need to be working toward a solution to this. And I think there are good people out there who are trying to make things better. They're trying to improve things. But I think the problem is we're too scattered. Too many different people, too many cooks in the kitchen. We need to regroup our efforts, come together, one program, all our resources in it, just like solve the homeless problem.
I know, like,
a final solution, if you will, but not.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Banana Brains EFC roving cannibal gang says comedic potential. She's not playing. No, like she completely dropped the ball on an idea of like, oh, you know, he's chewing on a rib cage or something. Like, dude, that's the kind of weird, wild shit. You can take it. If you are already playing it with an idea of like, oh, there's a cannibal that I'm talking to, what the fuck are you like? You just skip over the cannibal part? Like she's parroting some dumb right-wing propaganda bullshit that was debunked last year. But like unbelievable. This is recent too. Holy shit.
Not like that. But that would solve things. But that's not what I'm saying we should do. Yeah. But no, I don't know if you guys know this, but I grew up in Asia. I didn't grow up in America, and it's crazy. We like in Asian cities, we don't have the level of homelessness that you guys have here. Turns out when you start working at 5, by the time that you're 18, you have a pretty good nest egg, so you're quite comfortable. No. They don't pay those kids, so that's not how that works. Yeah.
Explaining
well,
the
sounds
joke.
Bad, but just from an American
good stuff.
perspective,
Explaining the
think
joke.
of it as getting paid an experience, right? Just like a little fleet of interns who are making all your clothes. So it's fine. And actually, corporate America, if you guys are paying attention, I know there's a lot of controversy stateside about things like maternity leave. People don't want to pay it. Turns out, if your workers are all prepubescent, you can just sidestep that conversation entirely. So, follow me for more business tips.
Yep, let's go back. Let's go back to that.
There's a lot of things in America that we don't have in Asia. One of them things really different, probably the most noticeable, is the amount of diversity that you have in America compared to Asia. I know there are probably people out there thinking, like, what are you saying?
Oh my God, holy shit. Zoe, thank you so much. Thank you, holy shit. I really do. Thank you to everybody, and I know and again, the Ko-Fi link, all donations are appreciated. The Ko-Fi link down below and on YouTube is particularly useful because that goes like right into my account, where this I have to wait until I get paid out, but it's all so, I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you. No, I mean she's being facetious. She's joking about the child labor stuff, but it's like it's also you're going back to the well that you've already like doing it. You already made the joke about like haha Asian child labor, right? And this is just that joke again. Like there's nothing, you're not adding into it.
Super diverse, it's full of Asians. Well,
like you're not doing like like a fun spin on it, where it's like, oh, actually, it's not that bad. I grew up I worked in a sweatshop as a kid, and I turned out fine. Like something, like you're saying I'm an immigrant, I'm from Asia. Use a unique perspective there. Bring somebody into your story more. Make it ridiculous. Make it funny. And it's fucking not.
Despite what marketing agencies may think, diverse doesn't just mean no white people. Actually, it means diversity. And America has a lot of diversity for better or worse. Like, first time I actually lived in America, it was when I was going to college. And that's when I realized how much of a melting pot it actually is here. And, I was surrounded by people, different races, who didn't look like me. And it's for better or worse, because simultaneously, I ended up experiencing something that I never would. And it kind of shocked me that I experienced racism firsthand. Turns out I'm not a fan of Mexicans, which was, news to me. But, no, that joke actually used to be about Jewish people, but... Then I realized I like using banks, so it just
sounds like half of a joke, but the setup was super confusing there. I think she tripped over a couple words which fucked it up, but like she was saying she experienced racism, but then that she dislikes Mexicans. So was the way it was phrased made it sound like somebody was telling her she disliked Mexicans because she's Asian. So she was being typecast as an Asian who hates Mexicans. The problem is none of that makes any fucking sense. Like, and she just skates over it and doesn't explain it at all. Like, it.
No. It's just, I'm sorry, Mexicans. It's just. You're a little lower. You're lower risk. You're lower risk. Like, what are you gonna do? Leave? Oh no! Don't self-deport. Stop. Come back. But no, the racial politics in the U.S. That's something that I haven't gotten quite used to.
Fucking shit.
Really, I think is so strange is the fact that when we're talking about race in the U.S., there's this tendency to group people into one of two categories: white and non-white. The two races. Which is like, I don't know. I don't think that really works. The idea that me, as an Asian woman, or half Asian, that I would have more in common with a black man just because we're both not white, that doesn't really make sense, right? If we look at the black experience, let's break it down.
Oh boy.
Way that your race affects your life, probably going to be more likely to be fatherlessness, right? More likely to be in poverty. More likely to live in a high crime area, maybe commit some of that crime yourself, but that's different. Versus me as an Asian woman,
okay,
the way that my
so this is just like bragging about. Oh no, yeah, no, it's very much Jupiter Saturn. No, she wants to be white so bad. This is very much like some Rachel Dolezal, except whiteface shit. I want to go back a second though. Because I need to listen to that real quick.
Crime area, maybe commit some of that crime yourself, but that's different. Versus me as an Asian woman, probably the way that my race.
Like, again, this isn't funny because you're not being specific enough, and so it comes across like all the previous racist jokes as you just labeling all black people as criminals. That's to you, that's the punchline. What Lauren is saying is that, like, isn't it funny that all black people do crime? And the audience is going like, I don't know about this one, dog. This is bail on this one.
Most affects my day-to-day is I got a lot of guys with anime profiles asking for pics, like feet pics. It's a problem.
Stumble over that.
It's a very different
That's
problem.
very weird.
Also, if I were to ever open a massage parlor, exponentially higher likelihood of it being mistaken for a brothel. Again, real problem, just they're very different problems.
And again, here's a big problem you see with conservatives where they will say this, like, because I bet Lauren Chen would be like, oh no, I make fun of all sides. I make fun of myself. this is not self-deprecating. Like, you can't be like, all black people are criminals, right? Isn't that funny? Anyway, if I opened a spa, it would be called a brothel because I'm Asian. That's the same. It's like, no, there are racial stereotypes about Asian people. Like, one of them is that they're weirdly racist towards black people. So, if you were self-aware, Lauren, you could actually probably do a fucking killer joke about being a racist Asian. Like, again, that's asking way too much of a conservative mind. But if a conservative ever gained that level of Skynet style sentience, if they became self-aware enough to do that, there's probably a pretty fucking good joke in there somewhere.
And I think if we look at the way that we either say, you know, you're white, non-white, that's how it is, especially when we're talking about divisiveness in American race relations, it kind of paints the idea that I think is a false idea that if white people were just removed from the conversation, everything would be fine, right? All the non-white people would just be having a blast, which if you look at the areas in America with very few white people, just does not seem to be the case. Like, if we're being real, if we're being real. And I don't know if you guys speak with a lot of ethnic minorities, but one thing that they actually aren't usually too keen on is other ethnic minorities. So, I mean, you know, the past few years alone, you look at the tensions between like the Asian community and the black community, the Jewish community and the black community, and they don't even get me started on, you know, the gang warfare issues between the Hispanic community and the black community. And see, those are all real problems.
So, again, quick workshop that would have actually been funny, because, again, this is just coming down to a very obvious, like, just weird racist streak towards black people. If she had switched that all with Asian people, because she's from that, so that becomes slightly more self-deprecating. And the way she could spin it, if she's saying that, would be to say, like, you know, like, I don't know what the problem everybody has with racial minorities. Like, I've never been racist towards anybody. Yet all of these people have, like, the Mexicans have problems with Asians, and black people have problems with like, there's something there, but she's never gonna fucking find it. Yeah, no, she said black community twice.
Real conflicts, but they don't get as much attention because, I mean, it's frankly not as flashy as the
God, okay, we only have like 6 minutes left.
Community and, well, the black community, so, yeah. But
there's one
gender,
person.
That's another area.
Oh, God, honey, don't. Honey, no. There's one person. It's really hard to tell, like, what the crowd size is because there's no, like, back cameras, but... Oh, man. It's gender. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get this over
as
with.
Sean was saying, people are getting a little crazy right now. I don't know if you guys have been following, but online there's a lot of talk about how the right is alienating women because of sexist comments. And I know there's probably the tendency to just dismiss that, oh, it's just noise, but it's true. It's true. Like, if you're online, you go to the social media account, it's conservative, there's a good chance you're going to see things like actual misogynistic comments. You might even see arguments about why women shouldn't vote, shouldn't be in the workplace. Maybe you see stuff about posts tearing women down, insulting them based on the way.
I'm gonna make a brief prediction, and this might be giving her way too much credit, but I think the punchline for this is gonna be like, yeah, that's all fair, that's all true. Like, I think the punchline is that as a woman she's gonna agree with it. I believe. I think she is going to actually, hopefully, take a chance at a joke to try and subvert expectations and do what she basically should have done with the racism joke. But we'll see. Give me a second.
They look, slut shaming. Never mind the fact that AI is being used to create deepfake porn. And I mean, that's just what I'm posting. Never mind the weirdos out there. It's
See?
bad. It's
See?
bad. And, I know I've spoken to a lot of right-wing guys who kind of incredulous about it. They'll ask, like, really, everything that's going on in the country, in left-wing cities, we have women being actually punched in the face in New York. Women's spaces basically don't exist anymore because of the trans issue. Never mind things that affect everybody, like inflation. But you're really telling me women are still going to vote Democrat. They're going to vote against Republicans out of spite because of mean comments. And it's like, well, have you met a woman? Like, I mean, unfortunately, but
Again,
you know,
there's something there that could be
transport
punched up.
issue, that is something that it only seems to be getting worse. And, the thing with that is we really have no one else to blame but ourselves. Ladies, we can't really pin that on men in general. There's never been a man that's ever sat down and said, all right, guys, here are my opinions about the policies governing women's sports. Like, that's not happened. So it's us. We're doing that. And again, the problem is that we're too afraid of being
No man has done that. Lauren, you live in Tennessee. Like, I'm willing to bet you live near Nashville, where the Daily Wire fucking made Lady Ballers. Like, that's not true. You know that men only gave a fuck about women's sports after trans people came into it. Like, come on. Lakeside Flyer, thank you for $5. Excellent job on the Anderson interview. Thank you. I found an archive video of Steven saying that marital rape is not real and basically admitting to having committed it. Let me know if you want the link. Feel free to DM me that on Twitter, because that would be good to have for some stuff. I might be able to send that to John. Final Fanboy, thank you for $10. There's a lot of things in America that we don't have in Asia, like copious amounts of junk food. Is it the best? Probably not, but at least I made an attempt at a punchline. Yeah, like you got the idea. Like she's just like just ranting, rambling. I hate it.
offensive.
All right, we're almost there. We're almost done.
The first time man ever showed up in a skirt asking to play on a sports team, we should have told them to GTFO, but we didn't because we didn't want to be bad feminists. But I mean, tough.
You didn't because you probably didn't know it was a trans woman. You fucking dweeb.
Love for us ladies, I'm going to give us some advice, some words of wisdom that I usually reserve for single moms, is that we could have said no, okay? We could have said no, but we didn't. And so we made our bed and we got a lie in it. Actually, there's a lot of people who say that men and women's sports are going to be the death of women's sports. I disagree. I actually think if enough males start competing, people will start watching. So that's, that'll be actually fun. But an example of that, I don't know if you guys watch female basketball. No, but Caitlin Clark. So she's someone who's been making the news a lot. Yeah, I don't watch basketball played by women because, again, we don't need to go over this. No one does. But she was someone who I was seeing in the news a lot for months and months.
Yeah, we don't need to go over this because that might actually require writing a fucking joke.
Trans. And it's not good. No, but it's not because she looks like a man or anything like that. She's a beautiful giantess. But the thing is,
it's literally because of that.
9 times out of 10, if we're actually talking about a female athlete, period, let alone how good they are at their sport, it's because they're a dude. It's because they're a dude. So I get good job, Caitlin Clark, I guess, disproving the stereotype that female athletes can't be good. But no, it's not a good long-term plan for us. And actually, trans women, so males, they're really interesting because usually there's this stereotype, and it's kind of true if you ask me, that progressive men tend to be effeminate. I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive, but they tend to be a little less masculine, a little more feminine. But I feel like it's this weird paradox. The more likely they are to identify as a woman, the more masculine these progressive men are. Like, if you're a progressive man, I'm sorry, but odds are I could probably beat you up unless you identify as a woman. In which case, odds are you are some Arnold Schwarzenegger from the 80s.
See, this is just unhinged. Like, it's just rambling. It's not even a joke anymore. It's just it's devolved into what JP Sears comedy entirely is, where it is just confirmation bias. Everything I like is good and cool. Everything that is against me is dumb and bad, and there are no evidence can be offered that will sway my opinion on that at all. It's just like, I don't even. I just have nothing. Like, this is soul sucking. This blows,
Fucking
dude.
motherfucker. Like, I'm sorry, but that's real. That's a real
Oh,
thing.
this is fucking rough.
And
Lakeside Flower, thank you for
love the fact that
$5.
we are so afraid.
Okay, I will grab that real quick. I will grab that later. Thank you very much, Lakeside Flower.
Of being called intolerant, that we're trying to convince ourselves that someone like Leah Thomas doesn't have a biological advantage, just like an ingrained, inherent better ability to perform at sports than someone who is like 5'4". But that's okay. That's okay. I don't want to be, I don't want to be a Pat Caressa, so.
No, see, again, like, it's this other conservative thing where unless you were to ask somebody who watches Daily Wire, watches Matt Walsh, watches any of these dorks, nobody fucking knows who Leah Thomas is. And so she's not really explaining the joke or saying why it's funny. It's just people hear a name, they hear her being derisive about a name, and people on her ideological side are like, funny. It's like there's not an actual joke there. Like, she just made a statement that other people are laughing at because they have member berries, and like they have a little like vibrator in the head that sets off a dopamine hit every time they see, oh, I know that. I get that reference, as they would say.
But there's a lot of issues out there that I don't really have answers to. I don't know how we fix race relations. I don't know how we fix
fucking
gender
not
relations.
with you.
It's hard. Something that I do have an answer for, though, is the fact that 200-year-olds seem to be running this country. Like, that's kind of, and that's bipartisan, right? No one side should want that. But the problem is,
There's still 2
old
minutes
people
of
wake up
this
a lot
left.
earlier than we do. Like, there's a very clear mechanism for how we could get them out of power, literally vote against them. But we have stuff going on, It's just, it's a lot, and they don't, so we just leave it. But
I think
here's
she's
my
forgot
plan.
to make jokes at this
So we
point.
take everybody in the government who's over the age of like 70, okay? And we tell them, look, government is going digital. We're going full on remote. And it's possible, especially after COVID. I don't think they'd question it. So set them up at home on their computers. We tell them that, no, you're still doing your job. You're still running the government. Really, they're just playing Civ, though. Like, that's all they're doing. And I feel like they'll be happy. They can wage whatever wars. In the meantime, we actually get to have people making laws about TikTok who know what TikTok is. So it's a win-win. And I know you might be thinking, that's never going to work. They'll figure it out. But are you really trying to look me in the eye and tell me that someone Nancy Pelosi's age,
I want it to
Mitch
end.
McConnell's age
I
is
want
gonna
it
be
to
in front
end
of
so
the computer,
badly.
inputting their personal information and
We're
going,
almost
"Hang on a second.
there.
This seems like
God.
an online scam. I don't buy it. No, that's not going to happen. They're going to love it." But actually, the most depressing part of that plan is the fact that they probably would not be able mentally to figure out how to play Civ. So that's who's running our
Again, let's undercut the joke. Let's just
well, you guys,
undercut the
that's all the
bit.
time I have for today. You guys have been awesome.
Fuck, man. Fuck, dude. Oh, god damn. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. That's some of that's some of the worst fucking comedy I've seen in a long fucking time. In a long fucking time. That's raw, dude. That is. Was that worse than Roseanne? It wasn't as long as Roseanne, but it was pretty fucking bad. It was pretty fucking bad. All right. We are gonna go. Let's do a raid. As my beautiful partner has been sitting there waiting for us to go eat while I did that for y'all. Let's go. Do we want to raid? I guess we just have Ophelia Valentine or composting. Do everybody want to go say hi to Rosa? I'm just gonna have everybody go say hi to Rosa. Yeah, I don't know. Roseanne was pretty fucking unhinged, if I'm being honest. All right, go say hi to Rosa. Go sub to composting, and thank you all I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you all so much for the donations. And if you feel, again, no pressure at all, but if you wish to help donate to this housing situation, Ko-Fi and PayPal are the best way to do it. But of course, everything is appreciated. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night.